Good evening, one and all. It is Sunday. It's the end of the week, and it's time that we get into some more good old Warframe. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're doing well where you are around the world. All the overlays are gone. You may notice all the bordering and bits and pieces. It's a new month. The charity drive hath ended. We have returned to where we are as a standard stream. And
I-L-I-L-I-L-I.
the bot liked that just slightly more than I did. I'll be quite honest there, but all the same, thank you very much there, Andrew, for the 39-month resub there. Much appreciated. Welcome on in once again. And quite the callback right there to a previous stream, but there we go. Welcome in, everyone. And Kelton, thank you for the pop. So yes, with QTCC all wrapped up, all the bits and pieces all around are completely gone, of course, but your donations are not gone, rather they have headed on over towards the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, and I am so overwhelmingly proud of this community of just how much we raised in the end. $7,250 is nothing to sniff at. That was absolutely incredible. Also, Miralabe, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs there. Going out to community. That's gone out to Definitive40, to Turgeon Mir, to the Primal Drip, to Cairo Ren, and to Twilight Onyx. Any of you there who grabbed one of those from Miralabe, make sure you say thanks on that. That is real generous of you. Thank you very much for kicking off the month with that there. Cheers. And from Hayfire saying, Ken, where are my manners? My YouTube recommendations have bad manners not recommending you. Is that so? Curious. I mean, I haven't put out a video in like a week, so there's not been much for it to recommend at the moment. I have been a little bit inundated with other bits and pieces, including just kind of mildly slightly falling apart. But, you know, it's fine. Bringing it all together. There was a lot going on. Now should be in a position to better stabilize things. So you'll see more videos soon. From Secret, are the donation pick frames auto-set, or do we need to select them? You need to set them. So I'm not taking active control of your frame choices there, because someone may want to submit their fashion but not immediately use it. Maybe want to leave it for someone else or something like that. So you can set it for yourself. With regards to ones which are not made public, you can still access your own one easily, because I've also set up a new pick frame default setting. So whenever someone uses pick frame default, this applies even if you're not a subscriber. You don't need to have any permissions for it. But as soon as you get pick frame default, if you don't have your own submitted one, then it sets you to default levels. If you do have your own submitted one, then it detects that and it'll instead set you to your one, even if no one else can access it. So, and it took a bit of work to do all the changes to the program, to both the interface program from Twitch's side and then to the giveaway arena to handle all of it, but that should run it all through. Now, as with all of these things, if multiple people do it at the same time, the bot's only going to register one of them. So do double check. If the bot doesn't respond to you personally, you will need to set it again. So yeah, Calm, I believe, didn't you ask for yours to be private? Let me just triple check in case I have made a mistake here. No, yeah, Calm, you set for yours to be private. So the program isn't smart enough to tell if you are the person who should have it, because yours just isn't in the list. You set it private. So in order to have yours as yours, your private one, you need to set yourself default, because you only have one private one. So that's the way I could get around it kind of being accessible without being accessible, was to add in that whole other circuit of the default. It was the best way I could handle that one there. But yeah. Yes, Werber, quite a few of you have popped onto a double-digit stream streak now that Twitch has been following that for a while, absolutely. Hopefully it works. I'm certain it will work. I am absolutely certain that the entire giveaway arena is working as intended first time this time. Because I have gone through all the bits and pieces, I've tweaked all the details, I've done the bug testing, it should work. So yeah, it should be fine. Centaur, Mr. Cup with a tipathon? Yes, we did have a few streams in a row, didn't we? Sort of like 15, 16 hours of them in total over those few days. That was a bunch. That was indeed a bunch, yeah. Keyword there should. I mean, all things can break. We see how many times Warframe can break in ways that sometimes we didn't even think were possible. It is impressive the way things can break at times. I cast my mind back to the No HUD stream, whereupon went into fight, was it Vor in his new arena at the end of the sortie, and he literally just didn't spawn, which locked the entire mission. There was just no proceeding. Yeah. Porter say, I'm here because I've heard he's calm and collects all the YouTube videos, but chaotic on stream. I'm curious and interested in seeing it for myself. Well, I mean, it doesn't happen on demand, but you'll see how things go, won't you? From Sean Miles, wait, I missed the start. How do I choose my luck? So the luck is specifically for the giveaway arena, and if you are a subscriber or VIP, you can use the !pick frame command to set it to whichever one of the frame options you'd like to use. If you're not sure what the options are, you can also use !avatar. Yeah, avatar to get the link to the full catalogue of those. But if you're not a VIP or subscriber, then you either have access to the default Lavos, or if you've submitted a fashion, then your own default, which I believe in your case you haven't. So yeah, it's a perk for those who support the channel, or a perk for those who supported QTCC and got their own fashion in. And for everyone else, well, that's what comes with free access. You don't get the skins. That's just how it goes. You still have all the same access to actually joining giveaways. You just have to enjoy my favourite fashion rather than someone else's. It's as simple as that, really. And yep, the avatar command, yeah, it's without the plural. In fact, you know what? I can be smarter than that. I can set the command to work with both avatar and avatars, can't I? Then I don't have to ever worry if it's one or the other. There we go. That's well smarter. There we are. Alright, well, that's fixed. That is fixed and sorted. From Dyslexia. First of all, that name tripped me up. I see what you've done there. Nicely done. Say very simply, I love listening to your voice. You also tackle everything in Warframe so well. Well, thank you on that. I'm glad you appreciate both sides of what I do here. Welcome on in. Carlo set themselves to co-mate. Yep, there we go. That was always an option, but yep. And Mirror, didn't you already just hit the pick frame earlier? You did, but this time you added a smile to it, just to make the bot complain at you. Just to make it complain at you, yeah. And yeah, Mythic, with regards to the 75 plat raffle, I've switched it over to using the giveaway arena, at least for this stream. We'll give it a test as how it goes there, but as I mentioned on a couple other streams, I was planning on doing that because the vast majority of people who entered into it were either regulars who were there throughout the entire stream anyway, and so were just there at the end to also see it being drawn, or people who entered when they were reminded, oh wait, yeah, that's happening, which is always at the end of stream. So for the sake of the few people in the middle there, it wasn't worth keeping it that way on such a, dare I say, uninteractive and uninteresting text-based giveaway. Instead, it's moved on over to using the much more interesting program that I am very invested in because I made it myself. So yeah. Someone screwed up the spelling of pick once. Someone screwed it up. Let's have a ganders. Yes. Yeah, Miriam did typo it once, but the second time it should have gone through. And besides, the bot responses will inform anyone of that as well. If the bot responds the way you want it to respond, you know things have gone well. If it hasn't, well, get working on it. Alright then, so, the new heavy weapon, which is the Arbucep. There it is. That is one big-ass mushroom gun, isn't it? That is a big-ass mushroom gun. Locally asking, will the exclusive skins applied already? Do you have to do it yourself? You need to use it yourself. If you've asked for yours to be private, then do !pick frame default. If you've asked it to be not private, and yes, your one will private. If you asked it to be not private, then either default or naming yourself works. But yeah, for all the privated ones, only the person who submitted it can access it by setting themselves back to their own default. But by default, ironically enough, I've not changed anyone's personal choices. That requires the person themselves to do. It's just neater that way. Okay. And yeah, the bot response message is a little bit broad / vague, because again, rather than digging through details and have the bot do even more processing, which will make it take longer and potentially ignore more people, I just have it go, yep, alright, you're set to default, we'll move everything else to the side now. And Brev, oh my word, would you look at that. We haven't even gotten started proper on testing it already, we've got a new VIP on the channel. Brev95 has been saving up for a while, look at that there. Brev, welcome on into the ranks of the VIPs. 150,000 spanners. That is not a small amount. That is not a small amount right there, but that is another diamond in the chat. Another diamond in the rough, as it were. Cheers. There we go. Another stack of badges. Alright, so Arbucep. Unique trade, let's have a look at this. Fires 6 missiles, each inflicting one of the secondary elemental damage types. Striking Noko's mushrooms increase their pulse rate. Multi-shot is converted to damage instead of more projectiles. Now, is it just damage? There's our multi-shot. It is indeed just damage is converted to, so that means it is less effective for status. Less effective for status, right? Yeah. Also, wow, that is a very weird stat array. Like, I know why it's like that, but that is a very weird stat array. Okay. Well, here's what it is on that. It's still a buff, and the next question is it multiplicative? Yes, it is. Good, that's fine. So it's still multi-shot, it's just a different multi-shot. It's multi-power rather than multi-shot, I guess. Because it's multiplicative to the power. Yeah. Multi-damage. Something like that. The fact that it doesn't increase the status does make it objectively weaker in that regard. As much as maintaining the average damage, it's not maintaining the average status compared to a normal weapon with that kind of approach. But still, it opens up with functionally 6 multi-shots across different types. How often do you get such a spread of types anyway? Jacobet, cheers for hydrate. Now we'll also want to slap on some Arcana adapters, sure, except the question is, how many of them do I even own at this stage? Let's have a look in the inventory here. If I go adapter, arcane adapter, I have exactly 1. Alright, there's a little bit of work to be done there, I think. A little bit of work to be done there, much like there is work to be done on the lights. There is the Urple, as ever cryptically requested Petra. There we are. You can just buy them. I know. I don't want to just insta-buy everything, because I also take myself out of the process that a lot of people actually have to engage with. How much are they? 20 plat. So there's also 40 platinum. Buying them to upgrade the weapon, on top of the weapon slot, on top of the Orokin reactor that you'd normally have to get. I say normally because I was also gifted the gun from DE and therefore didn't have to go through that process. No, Kylo, no, we don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen. Now, in terms of building it, what happens if you do put an element onto this? What happens to it? Okay, it just puts it alongside every single one of them with their direct hit and AoE attack. That looks so weird. That looks so weird. So if I add in, like, the, there it is, the magnetic one, and then I add in the radiation one, and you get this. Okay, yeah, that just looks weird. Alright. Something you're allowed to do, I suppose, yep. Point say that Arbucep can also trigger the overcharge effect on Noko's Bright Bonnet like his 4th ability does. Yeah, it says that in a unique trait right there, absolutely. Striking the mushrooms increases pulse rate. Absolutely. Alright then, so... it says range 4 meters. Range 4 meters. Am I Am I overcritical on this one? I could have sworn... No, yeah, no, it's just listed as range. Okay, fair enough, yeah. I could have sworn they were listed as radius rather than range, but nope, nope, radial attacks are listed as range. That's just me being overpicky. Fair enough, I mean, it's still weird. It's still weird, it should be the word radius. We have the word radius. It even says attacks will damage enemies within this radius, but whatever. Conspicuously missing, however, is the fall off. It has fall off here, 200 to 270 meters, which... Okay, I guess our missiles lose power over distance, but... It doesn't have it for the radial attack, the fall off here. So that leaves me wondering, does it have no fall off? Or did they forget to tell us what the fall off is? That makes things slightly more difficult. That needs testing. So with no further ado, I think just get straight into testing that. Let's switch us over to a nice, cozy, doesn't interfere with anything setup. Everything there should be safe and fine to use. Let's go test. Warframe isn't terribly exact when it comes to specific wording. Oh, believe me, if there's anyone who knows that well and truly, it's yours truly. Oh, yes. An issue so stark, I brought it all the way over to Canada. Yeah. Sir, you're not planning on playing Duet Night Abyss? Duet Night Abyss? What even is that? That is not a name I'm familiar with. Anime Warframe. Well, it ain't Warframe, because I ain't heard of it. 5 bits and Kuwait. Weepframe. This is not helping me. Because it's still not Warframe. I'm just going to Google this, seeing as I'm going to be given half answers. Let's have a go at this here. Duet Night Abyss is a 2025 free-to-play action role-playing game developed by Pan Studio and published by Hero Games. I have heard of neither of those. The game released a few days ago. Okay, so very new. Across Windows, Android, iOS. Okay. I mean, it's interesting to come in with, are you not planning on playing it, as if I'd made any kind of announcement around it. This is completely new to me. This is completely new. Yeah. Gacha game that removed the gacha, so it's now just Warframe waifus. That was going to be my next question. These things almost always have gacha. Go on, let's have a let's look. Release. Oh, but it says on Steam, release date to be announced. Well, that doesn't work, does it? I thought this one has supposedly launched. Okay, well, shitty Steam link for shitty. They have their own launcher. Fair enough. I mean, it's still weird to have a Steam link that says the release is to be announced rather than just not having the Steam thing. Okay. Curious. Can't say that's really going to be my focus. I've given it more than a fair look, but what I'm seeing here is, yeah, straight up just anime overload, dare I say. Also finding a struggle to get imagery from the official source without just downloading much. It's on Epic and its own launcher. Gacha's gone except cosmetics. Except cosmetics? Okay. And they made every character farmable. Just being farmable is not enough to satisfy my stipulations on things, but you know, fair enough. Good fucking god, that is overdone on the brightness on the home webpage. Oh god, scrolling doesn't scroll, scrolling scrolls through their tabs? Who designs a website like that? Who designs a website where scrolling takes you to a different tab? Now, so let's bring this onto the main screen so you can understand my frustrations here. What the fucking line? Oh. Audio has come out of somewhere? There wasn't audio earlier. Is this... I don't remember agreeing to audio, so you know what? You're getting closed. Well done, whatever the fuck that website was. I was just about to bring it up onto the main screen, but then it just auto-played audio from part of the website, and I did not see an immediate mute button. So you know what? Fuck off. Alright, yeah. That is a shitty website with shitty details about some anime game which has recently had to get rid of its gacha because they finally saw the light. I'm already just kind of going, yeah, nah, I'm out. I'm out. You want my attention? Don't do that. Alright then. So, going back to the original question, will I not be playing it? Evidently not. They wanted to make sure I was uninterested. That was absolutely dire. Cheers, NPC. That was dire. I'm sure it's plenty fine for others who aren't as picky as me. Others who are like, oh my god, anime, yes! Give me some more of that flatly illustrated boober. Yeah, pass. Not the target market. Alright then, let's grab ourselves an anatomizer. These are nice and fun to shoot things at. It never had gacha? Well, now I'm hearing different things, but either which way, I haven't got far enough to even find out about that because that website was toxic. And its Steam page was completely devoid of useful information. The fact that it even had a Steam page when it's devoid of useful information is just kind of stupid. Alright, that does indeed fire our shots, nice and lovely. Hell of a lot of status effects right there. Is it forcing any status effects, I wonder? Because I currently got it unmodded. 5 out of 6 landed a status effect there. Also, wow, that is a lot of reserve ammo. Okay, no, it's not forcing status effects. That's nowhere near as high as forced. That was just really lucky opening rolls. Fair enough then. The next thing is trying to determine what the hell's going on with the damage. So, if I aim here... Oh god, the missiles land all over the place, but... Those are all different numbers. I'm getting the impression that... This is indeed going to be a fall-off. I mean, I might be wrong on that, but there we go. Let's just pause that there. Let's grab that screenshot I just took. Screenshot, this one here. Let's have a look. No, actually, I take it back. Okay, so the radiation hit, which used to be triggered a radiation proc, was 342 damage. The rest were 228, except for one single one was 114. Which would suggest to me the 114 is the viral that they are resistant to. So, yes indeed. Did my keybind go again? Keybind is that? Oh wait. Does that not work whilst holding an arc gun? Right. There we go, yeah, can't equip that whilst holding an arc gun. So yeah, vulnerable radiation, resistant viral, as thought. Cool. God damn it. Gib arc gun. That doesn't even cool it down. Bruh. Okay, whatever. We got a few seconds to spare. Okay, so we dealt 228 multiple times over, plus a little bit of something else. Let's have a look at the info on here. So it'll be this section here. So, and 228 was the flab value it's reporting, so that's good. That is good. So it's not got any hidden fall off over distance. It's not got any fall off whatsoever. It's kind of weird that they still just didn't include the fall off stat to confirm that up front, that it's intended to have no fall off, but it has no fall off. That's good to know. And the AoE is a huge portion of the damage, like not even close to the direct hit. It is basically all in the AoE, but the direct damage does mean effectively double the chances of status procs. So we're looking at about 1 in 3 per hit. If you direct hit, you've got 12 hits. You're looking at on average about 4 status effects, which is not a bad starting point. Not a bad starting point. Although, again, multi-shot will not improve that. Yeah. Okay. Look at dyslexia saying we got radius fall off. Well, that's what we just confirmed we don't have. Fair enough. Alright then, so let's just throw some bits together on it. If we were to have a setup, multi-shot and damage, to just lean into the multi-shot and damage, obviously we use the better one of those. Doesn't matter which way around those are, they could just both exist. Don't caught on the more hitting, you mean count? And sure, I mean, yes. That can happen. Now the crit chance on this is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible, because even if we slapped in parallax scope, we're just going to hit 20%. That's nothing. That is nothing. So this is not to be crit modded in that way, but it does have a 2.9 crit damage. And crit damage can get a lot of work done. Now, we don't have the most amazing crit damage mod. It is just hollowed bullets, but that still brings up from 2.9 to 5.2. That is quite a jump. And yeah, Nightmare thinking the same thing I'm thinking, is that this could work well then with Innovate to get our crit chance forcibly added in. It's almost designed for it, with the sheer number of hits, a travel time projectile-based weapon. It's just begging for Innovate to be the approach there. We've got one arc gun adapter. Let's throw that in right now and start to give ourselves an idea as to where that goes. Oh, bollocks to it. Whatever. Mirrorlave, thank you very much for the gift there. Would it happen to be arc gun adapters? I was like, I only remember having one of these. Why is it not charging me for the next one? Mirrorlave. Thank you very much for that. I didn't see the notification come through. It's just, why is it not asking me for platinum? Okay then. Well, that works. Alright then, on here, increase the crits. There we go. And whilst we're here, might as well slap something in on this. Now, what can we slap in? Weak point hits. I don't think we're going to be landing reliable weak point hits. Same with Deadhead, that's kind of out as well. We can come in with dexterity if using melee weapons, but who really wants to switch between melee and heavy gun all the time? Not me in particular. On impact status, that's not happening. Fractalized reset, we're not really caring about stuff like that. Blight and Frostbite, we would need to force those in one way or another, or just get them outside for Frostbite. Jamming, it's a thing, it exists, but I think Merciless ends up being basically the answer here. It ends up being Merciless. Getting the benefit out of the crit damage on Blight and Frostbite isn't lost on me, absolutely. But bear in mind that also the damage on this is only 187. We should still get plenty of value out of that as well, as it will multiply and still with the multi-shot here. But we'll see how it all comes together. With that then, though, there's not a lot of arc gun mods to really allow us to do a lot more. We can slap in our automatic trigger. 15 drain for 60% fire rate is criminal, by the way. I mean, this is bad enough when you consider that a pistol one is Hornet Strike's 14 drain for 220. Granted, it's 14 drain for 165 on rifles, but even then it's still a silver mod, not a platinum one. But this, 15 drain for 60% fire rate is criminal. But it's what we got. It is what we got there. Okay, status chance, might as well give the value out. The status is we are landing, yeah. And then we're about to run out of capacity. We could slap an electrified barrel because electrified barrel gives us good old rounds of electric, and they are pretty darn effective, aren't they? Combustion rounds, unfortunately, are V polarity, so wouldn't fit right now. Why it's a V polarity? Don't know. D just changed their mind on that one. This is not arc melee modding? Oh yeah, that stuff is terrible. So yeah, with 6 out of 8 mods, no form applied so far, both arcanes loaded in. If we were to get ourselves a standard group of high-level enemies, let's get rid of that anatomizer there. Go for ourselves with a good old Grenier battle group. just opening with what we have so far, what do we get? Donk. Well, apparently we still make a bit of mess of the enemies. That's always fun to do. Does do a fair amount of damage, doesn't it? Fair chunk of reloading because of the magazine. It says 36, but it's really only 6. But pretty effective, yeah. It leaves one to wonder where we can take it further. So if we switch this over to our weapon max setup, and we bring in that same group again. There we go, bring down the gun. And this time, let's force in some blast with some good old raw. Hello, everyone. I mean, that does seem a little bit effective, doesn't it? But I'm sure we could do better. That was after respawning ourselves. So if we run this again, we'll just re-up the raw, re-up the slap, make sure everything is as strong as it can be, and then... Ah, we did have some survivors. Fixed. There we go. Yeah, that does seem pretty decent. You don't understand why outguns are so far behind in power? They've just been power crept. That's really what it comes down to. They've just been power crept. Yes, raw is good for outguns. I mean, it's just as good as it is for any other gun. They're still just guns. It's just that I can conveniently have a easy access 84% raw and Lavos on top of Valence Formation. On top of everything else that's happening. Which is very nice. Although, ironically enough, I do have the raw over my 3, which would be the thing to reset the arc gun faster. So that's a rough one. Does Volt's first augment work? Shock Trooper, don't see why it wouldn't. Do you have any belief that it wouldn't, Oris? Let's just find ourselves a weapon platform, Shock Trooper. Spawn in a bunch of enemies. Let's wipe out our passive to make sure that's not the cause. There we go. Shock Trooper active. Do we just get a bunch of electric everywhere? Yeah. Yeah, we do. Although I think I already have electric modded, so that's not a fair test. So let's just do it again with something else. Take off the electrified barrel. Now let's see if we get electric procs. Again, cleanse passive, so that's not causing it. Bring in the gun. Someone else still wanted to go for a little flight. Never mind, I take it back. Now I'm not seeing any electric procs. Huh. Damn, I would have lost that bet. I would have lost that bet. Sorry, Lavos, can we have you back a sec? I'm fairly certain I saw what I saw, but let's just double check that. Again, there's no basic element on the gun. Oh, another set of people going for a flight, that's fine. So let's put some heat in here and see if I set things on fire. Yes, I do. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. What is the wording on the Volt one? Just in case I'm being a little bit of a dum-dum, which is very possible. Shock Trooper. Hold to cast will grant all allies within 50 meters additional electric damage on their attacks. Doesn't specify. Alright, fair enough. So yeah, that's just how they've designed it. Whether that's bug or not, I'll leave it up to D to decide. We don't get to choose what's a bug in that regard, just D. Raw should still have an effect. It's going to be a little bit more painful to verify, but we can verify it. Actually, it's not painful at all. What am I on about? It's going to be easy to verify. Let's grab the arc gun once again. Let's take off all the stuff on it once again. There we go. Let's get rid of all these random chances. We don't need all of them lot. Clear the options, and just bring me an anatomizer again. Beautiful and easy to test against. Alright, so. Bap. At the moment, we're seeing 228s and a bunch of other stuff. No viral effect. We raw. A lot higher. So yeah, raw is effective. Okay. There we are. Yeah, we might as well quickly test the Oberon whilst we're at it. Let's have a ganders at that, shall we? Bring up circuit 2. There it is. Now this might be a little bit harder to tell because we do have an 8 radiation built in, but we should be able to see from just the damage change. Yeah, we're seeing our 228s and other stuff there. Add our buff. Damage went up. Is that because of the viral? That might have been because of the viral. Yeah, we keep getting viral procs to happen. One moment. One moment. Can I not proc viral, please? It's a 1 in 3 chance. Make sure this ain't running out. Yeah, I'm seeing the same numbers again. Alright, cool. So Oberon is not buffing it. I was just getting very lucky with the virals for a bit there. Okay. It is the same interaction, which is a lack of interaction. I know there's then going to be the question about, oh, but what about this ability? What about that ability? What about this ability? You know what? I'm not going to go through testing every single ability on Archons right now. That's not why we're here today. We are focusing more on the Arbucep than we are on just heavy weapon interactions. If someone happens to write a wiki page on those interactions, that would be great. That would be great. Yo!
Hope you're having a great day.
I am indeed. Hobbit Rallo resubscribing once again up onto 57 months. Thank you very much for the continued support there. Closing in on that big 5 years. Much appreciated. Cheers. Much appreciated. First I will say, what about the art gun and which one? Sorry, that's an incoherent question. What are you actually asking? It looks like a question, but you're missing the context to have an answer on that one, sorry. If I say, won't ask for build, what's the Topaz shard about exactly? Topaz on whom? On Lavos? Doesn't have one, so you must have looked at it on a different frame. If it's about Oberon, you'll see in the video coming out next week. You'll see in the video. Or you can go back to the previous streams where I was testing Oberon, but yeah. Point is, you'll see. You'll see. Ow. Streaming titles about that Archon. That was the question. Okay, yeah, you gave me no context to work with there. Sorry. And in this case, it is the Arbucep, which is what was on screen just seconds ago. Yeah. The context is usually there if you give it a moment. We're all good, though. We're all good. So, aside from those bits there, there's ranking up that needs to be done. That's going to be easy enough to do. The question really comes down to what else can we do with it of interest. I mean, I feel like a couple of 60/60 mods to really amp that status up, and maybe even just slap in whatever status you prefer is the way to go. Because then you'll get a mix of statuses, you'll also get the status of your chosen selection, probably viral electric, viral heat, whichever fits best for you. But that really does seem to be the extent of where we could go, isn't it? There is deadly efficiency for on reload from empty, get extra damage for a short amount of time. Do I have the ranked up version of that? Apparently not. Let's rank one up. I have the primed one. Let's rank that one up. That's a chunk of damage. And for a long time. So, yeah, sure, why not? Actually, with just how much that is, that gives a good case of kicking off Primary Merciless. That gives a very good case for kicking off Primary Merciless once we can fit it in. Because we'll have it alongside Primary Beta Line Barrel, which is a decision I might actually do away with because they're additive. That's a toughie. I could get rid of that and still have it alongside Merciless, or I can have it alongside this and then replace Merciless with something else. Merciless, though, I already looked through these and there's not a lot of good options. There aren't a lot of good options, although it does come down to, like, how generous can Primary Crooks be? Let's give that a quick test. How generous will this be in terms of activation? If we grab ourselves, just get rid of the Anatomizer, let's grab ourselves a Grenadier Battle Group again. If I'm just kind of firing into the crowd going for a little bit of a jaunt. I got exactly 1 stack out of that. If I aim a little higher... Wow, even aiming higher, I didn't get a single stack. Yeah. That doesn't bode well for Primary Crooks being an option here. Let's give them all some movement as well. Just so we can see if there's something in the way they move that enhances it. I got 2 stacks. 5, 6 stacks. I can get some stacks. That doesn't seem the most consistent way of getting it. And then they run out again, yeah. This doesn't feel like a very Crooks-favoured weapon. No. And again, I've got 7 stacks there. Saves chance of ammo efficiency, but it's just not landing where I want it to be. It's not landing where I want it to be. So let's write that one off, I'll be honest. Let's write that one off. If you get it to work for you enough, sure. I was getting some stacks there, but... by suggesting drop Merciless Frostbite for crit damage, yeah, that's the next thing I'm leaning towards, is if we just go with Prime Deadly Efficiency, because it can give so much more damage alongside Primed Rubedo Line Barrel, it then leaves these as the next best option, most likely. Let's see here, this one, Blight does give us more crit damage, because it's 3.6 versus 3, but it's not enough more to say that it's worth it, given that Frostbite can stack off of another source. Do arc guns not have plated rounds? Yeah, I guess not. I guess not. Hold about. Yeah, I am seeing that there. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Did I just overlook it entirely on filming? Okay. So battery rules out plated rounds. I guess arc guns with their own thing just has a different handling for it again. That's weird. Yeah, because it is there for that. So I guess something to do with how they've coded the magazine on arc guns means it's just not eligible. Or it's a bug. Could be either, let's be real. So yeah, I'm rolling out Crooks here, and honestly, the extra 0.6% per stack on Blight doesn't feel worth it to lock us into trying to get Toxin status out of the gun, where we could just get cold status from our companion, or just any other source. Especially if you're playing something like Lavos. If I recall correctly, this should work. Let me just try it. Repause the AI this time. If I just... Now, will it stack up whilst I'm not even equipped with it? Yes, Primary Frostbite is stacking up. Look at that. It's at 30 stacks, 33, 37, 30, 40 stacks. There we go. Well done, Lavos. And then we just kind of open up. Oops, I'm going to drop the sacks. Nope, I just about rescued them with that next cast. So now let's level this up to the weapon max Lavos, because that was just initial test. There we go. Add on our raw. Grab this. Do a quick little dash through them all. Add it on with that. The cold procs that are going to need a moment more to stack up. Come on. There we go. Now the cold procs are stacked. Alright. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Zom saying, fun fact, this gun has multiplicative condition overload. Zom, please let's get some detail on that. You can't just throw that out there on a weapon that has many different hits, including in a radial. Are you talking about just the direct hit has it? Or are you talking about the direct hit in the AoE? Because if it's just the direct hit, I literally couldn't care less. The fraction of damage it has means it's not worth investing that effort into. Even if I have a way to invest that effort into it. So, which is it on? But yeah, Frostbite versus Merciless should almost certainly be a good pickup here. You didn't say it's good, you just think it's fun. Right, okay. Yeah. It's not so much the is it good or not, that's my job to figure out if it's good or not. But on the information there, it's just the direct hit, which is a projectile with travel time. Makes sense that it's multiplicative, and lots of those are.
Cooking something tasty again?
Yo, Killer Doctor, thank you very much for the Prime. Once again, they're up onto 4 months. Much appreciated. We're cooking. I don't know if it's going to turn out to be a mushroom stew or a mushroom mess, but we are indeed cooking with mushrooms. We'll see what we can get out of it. That's the idea. Do the testing, do the science, get the results, and then see if we're happy with what we find, and publish it all the same. That is the idea. Now, I could start running numbers on Frostbite now, but there's still the idea as to how the other mods, go. If I'm putting Prime Deadly Efficiency in here, that's going to reduce this down to just 1 slot remaining, and I'm thinking, instead of going for 60-60s, I mean, we could still go 60-60s, it's a bit awkward to electrify barrel in there, but instead of 60-60s, we can also look at the magnetized cycle and whatever the radiation one is. In fact, if I just search radiation, don't they both come up still? Yes, they do. There we are. Magnetized cycle and containment breach. This one gives us radiation boulder shot. This one gives us magnetic and fire rate. And apparently I've never leveled up the magnetized cycles. Let me just do that real quick. There we go. Oh, it's lovely having endo I can just throw away. It's only a 30% fire rate bonus, but also only a 30% multi-shot bonus. Why these are so low, I don't know. Yeah. What's the ribbon disposition? Funny you should ask that. Can you even get... yeah, you can get arc and ribbons. Okay. Huh. I mean, yeah, if it has one, it's going to be 0.5. It's just curious that there's nothing showing. Is it hidden somewhere? No, no, it's just... Huh, okay. Sure, why not? Yeah. Mod's probably low because DE overcompensating arc guns. Sure. Shows only if you have a ribbon for the weapon. Interesting. Alright, so if you have all those unveiled ribbons, sorry, all those veiled ribbons like I do, then it also shows up. Right. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm not going to go get an art gun Riven and just have it sat in my inventory for the sake of seeing a disposition, because quite frankly, I couldn't care less for it. Yeah, it's probably 0.5. All new things usually are. They used to enter at 1.0. D changed that because they would introduce new powerful weapons. People would go, oh my god, this is great, let me get a Riven for it. D would then go, huh, lots of people think this weapon is great, so we need to tone down the Riven, and then people will be upset, like, no, my new thing, the Riven that I purchased, which was really expensive because it was a new thing, now it just got less valuable, D-Y. Consequence of the system. So instead, now we start with 0.5s and everything, and all the Rivens consequently are just trash on release. So yeah. Not unveiled Riven needs to be a Riven for that weapon. Is that really how it works? Okay. What weapon do I definitely not have a Riven for? I'm going to guess the AX-52. Riven? Yep, no, not a single AX-52 Riven. Disposition visible. Disproven. That was easy. So, given that the dual stats are really not that great, 30% fire rate and 30% multi-shot, which alongside the existing modding is going to be all of not a lot. Because you got 160% fire rate already, add 30% onto that to go up to 190. That's an increase of like 20-odd% effective. 18.75, even worse. Yikes. Yeah. Nah, that doesn't seem worth it. Okay. So I think probably leaning into the 60/60 mod to go alongside the electrified barrel, whichever mod to go here, giving you some combination elements. Or you could go electric and just full send the electric. Not against that. You could do likewise cold and cold so that Frostbite gets the best opportunity of self-maintaining, which is also an option. You could do the same with Toxin if you wanted the Toxin one. One issue is that on the dash polarity, there's not a lot of good options. We have damage and punch through. The damage is going to be shit all. Punch through isn't going to work on missiles. Status chance whilst aiming. I mean, it's an option. Compared to modified munitions, it is twice the modded effect. But you have to be aiming with it. Which, do you want to be aiming whilst using a heavy weapon? Do you want to be doing that ADS all the time? If you're okay with it, go ahead and use it. That, for the way that I use those kinds of weapons, would probably slightly annoy me. Or rather, I just forget it's there and not get the benefit most of the time. Ammo max, we don't need or want on this. Quick reload, we don't need or want on this. 2 seconds is really not that bad. Yeah, we're doing it a lot of the time, but it's still not that bad. Parallax scope is terrible here. We don't need 10 points of crit chance. Comet blast is literally useless. Resist staggers and knockdowns whilst aiming, more accurate whilst aiming. We don't need that. And that's really all we got to talk about in the dash polarities. Okay, that dash polarity is a troll. Yeah. It's either mark target or electrified barrel of value there. Suppose I need to get good and actually aim my gun. That's... okay. But yeah, that seems to be about the decision points there. There's not really a lot of a decision point I can feel to it. In the secondaries, we went straight for Renovate there because crits go burr, and to be quite honest, crits really do go burr, so what else could we go for? Secondary Encumbered, do we really need more status out of it? Dexterity is a no-go, neither is Deadhead, neither is Merciless, because they're all just straight-up damage, we don't need that. Kinship, whilst buffing ally is already a problem, but for crit chance, yeah, nah, we're out. Gain Overguard, I suppose you can pick that up, so you have a tank option, but again, it's a tank option, we're not thinking too much on that. Conjunction Voltage to gain reload speed and multi-shot for the cost of all of our crits, not happening. Likewise, this is bad, this is bad, this is terrible, this is abysmal. We've been through those. That's just not happening. That's bad for us, and absolutely abysmal for us here. Yeah. Empowered could be funny. Or it could not be. Yeah, that is the opposite of funny. I don't see what's funny about that one. That just looks shit in this case. Wow, I fired 6 missiles with no multi-shot benefit, so they are just and always 6 missiles. Here, have a little bit of status. That ain't it. That ain't it. So unless I'm missing something obvious here, it really does just feel like it is Elevate Frostbite the choice. And then just your typical standard art gun build, because there's just not a lot of choice and variety. Compressor and powder is good for one gun. I mean, compressor is compressor. It's whatever works on it. Doesn't work on Arbucep because they are very different weapons, but good to be reminded of that video. Alright, let's go level up this weapon, apply some formers, see what max we can get out of it. Because it is still killing stuff. It's just a case of seeing which direction of killing we dare go with it. So, for leveling purposes, I dare say the whole leveling strat in the Plains of Eidolon isn't really going to work the way I want it to, is it? I'm going to try. And you know what, seeing as I have a hover setup made, we might as well bring the hover setup, just in case we need it. Where are you? That the one? I think that's the one. That's the one. But I don't think this is going to work. I have never tried, I'm just don't think it's going to work. So I'm asking, does it stack Frostbite well enough on its own, or does it need a companion to do it? Not tested well enough to say the answer to that as yet. However, given it's got 6 missiles, with direct hits as well as AoEs, that's 12 shots, each at about 1 in 2 status chance. If you got cold on there, I'd imagine you're going to get some cold procs. Yeah. Remember Archon's reduced airtime? Yeah, should be manageable, but good to be reminded, thank you. So if I just equip that, do I keep it equipped when I go here? No, I do not. Can I re-equip it here? I cannot use my arc gun in Arcwing. If I keep trying, the game might bug out. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So that's not an option to us. I mean, I could attempt to make it work, but you know, I'm just not going to go through that, Jack. Clearly the game doesn't want me to do that, so let's not. Is my honest answer to that. Okay, so if we're going to level it, we have to level it properly. We'll put away the whatever that Urali is, the abused, and instead abuse something else. So what if I just kind of unequipped my other weaponry? There we go. Equip myself a good old Eevee. Let me just check that's got what I want on it. Charm for Affinity, that's the one. Yep. So we got Eevee, we got just a melee, but you can't access Gear Wheel in ESO, can you? Ah. I can't go there. So... change of plans, don't I? I'll re-equip a couple weapons, because I might as well have them around after all. Might as well, seeing as game is just going to limit me on other ways. Switch this over to Madurai. You never know, might get some value out of that as well. Let's head in over to here, set that to that. Actually, let's go to this one, because we should get some decent locations there. Let's give it a try. Go to Ilara, Survival on Jupiter. What strat is this
Accept your death.
You're saying it like there's something weird beyond it being a survival mission.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
Alright. Let's try and get the enemies to cluster so we can level this with as much force as possible, but otherwise... Oh, hi there, dude. Right up in my face. I mean, that's doing a good job of hitting a group of them at once, so... Tell you what, I should be able to add gas to this. Gas should do plenty of work. There we go. In combination with the roar effect. Yeah. Get that guy off my face. And re-up the gas clouds.
Life support incoming.
You don't know why your brain said put it on Void Rig, take to Fortuna? Yeah, that's for leveling up the rig, isn't it? At least it's more effective at that. Let's just pick up all of our loot. There we go. Big old bunch of loot all at once. Get ourselves back in position and re-up the gas. As they say, we are cooking with gas.
I delivered a life support capsule to the area.
Now this doesn't have maximum duration on it, so it's not the best gas build. But it is still, you know, gonna put a bunch of it down there. This butcher somehow managed to stagger his way out of it. Can we make this gun... Oh, sorry, did I just use up all of my ammo? Oh, I used up all my ammo on it. Damn. And I'm not running the build to refresh that. That's on me. Honestly, that's on me. I should have made a specific setup for this. Because that's not going to be available now until the end of the mission. Unless we get some ammo packs. That's on me. I mean, I should hopefully get some ammo packs of the right type somewhere in here. Gonna be killing plenty enough stuff. My 3 concerts them. Come on, Zom. Come on. But yes. Typo aside, I have Roar on here because this is the weapon max, which usually assumes that I'm going to have enough ammo to not have to worry about ammo issues. But of course, that doesn't work on the gun that is specifically designed to have ammo issues.
Another life support capsule is now available.
You can't see on phone screen? Fair enough. Just remember, Zom, I do know my Lavos then. Let's go with that, shall we? Yeah. No, I'm keeping an eye for any heavy weapon deployable drops. So far, no bueno. No. Oh, that bot needs to shut up now. We're not having quite so many giveaways, that QTCC's wrapped up. Might as well just slam this out as well. Just put a load of gas everywhere for the hell of it. There we are. Nearly done with getting out of this mission, keeping all of our affinity. Getting plenty of nanospores, you know, if we needed any of those. Absolutely plenty of nanospores. None of it. Ammo. No. Alright. Let's navigate and see if I can't find extraction.
Another life support capsule.
Is extraction over this? Nope. That's dead end. God damn it. Okay, if it's not through here, it's not through any of that, which means it's not this way whatsoever. So I want to be going up. Where would I be going then? It would be out through this way. But no, that's not where... Did I miss a turn?
Progress. This will help our cause.
Oh yeah, this doorway. Of course. Dirt. I knew about that door. Let's just get out of here. Bite with a hydrate. Okay. There we are. Zom, I don't need any Nova or other support at the moment. Much appreciate the offer. I'm good, thanks. I'm good on that. Alright, let's first of all, whilst we're loading out of here, let's turn off that chatbot timer. That does not need to happen anymore. There we go. After all that's gone down with QTCC, I'd imagine that pretty much everyone who ends up on this channel now will know about IGN. Those scout for you who don't will find out as and when giveaways happen, so it's fine. We don't need to spread out the load on the bot. Okay, so Weapon Max is currently in a unfortunate position. It's not going to do what we need. I can switch over to this, which has a max duration approach, and that honestly would get a lot of work done. So yeah, we lose our raw, we gain a bunch of duration. That'll keep the gas up a lot longer. Let's roll with that. And let's swap the consequence out for Avenger. Actually, wait, no, that doesn't work because it'll just cause it to reset faster. Never mind. Crit buffs are actually useless to us. Is there something of particular use in here? I don't think they have. I'm not equipping that. Alright. Yeah, nothing of use there, so skip it, sod it, dump it, don't need it. Alright, thanks for the bit. Yeah, we just go back in. Just go back in. Although, to be fair, given how many levels are on it, maybe I don't want to do the survival. No, it's not even halfway. We do want to do the survival. We do. Alright, let's go. I could slap a roar onto this. With the strength of the setup, I don't think that roar would do a lot. I have 10% strength. Oops. So yeah, that roar would be useless.
Impressive. Give them all warriors' death.
There we are then.
Has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on.
Now 10% strength doesn't affect our ammo economy. It doesn't affect valence formation. So I can still just slam in with all of this. And that is good. This is a multi-pronged area. See if I can hold this spot continuously. Alright. If I just put a little bit more down there, that'll keep them going. Oh shit me. That, I just watched my health go down as I was casting. I was like, I'm not surviving that. Whoops. They got through that a little bit more effectively than I expected.
Life support.
And they're doing it again. Okay. Where's the tank on this, Lavos? It looked like he had some tank, but I guess maybe not, as much as I hoped. Hi guys, can you please be staggered?
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Maybe we're bringing the transportation probe augments, made the drone last a long time. That doesn't make more ammo, Captain Sweatpants, because you can just recast the drone. This is my issue with the augment for transportation probe. It doesn't have a use case. Oh, but it lingers on the area longer. Yeah, and the enemy should already be affected. And we could just cast it again in a few seconds' time. But it'll keep on converting things. There shouldn't be that many things to convert at that point. It should be done. Oh, that was the wrong switch. And I'm not healing off of that because of my low strength.
Life support incoming.
How many on the levels? 25, nearly there. Ammo is more than good. I mean, look at this. This is what I say. Augment for ammo? Come on. I'm more likely to run out of health again. Where's the augment for that one?
Additional life support has arrived.
Rank 27. Oop. Wrong infusion. How's our kill rate doing? Pretty good kill rate. I've got myself quite a good kill box here. So I'd be upset if I didn't have a good kill rate. But yeah, we've got a pretty good one going. Oop. Slightly cancelled the reload there, my bad. It's still weird to me that the gas clouds that a weapon produces are only possible if there's enemies to produce them on. It's clearly the weapon making this happen. Why do we need... Oh, bollocks, that got me. Why do we need an enemy specifically to pull it off? A few kills, not enough. There we go. Oh, gun. No gun. No gun, because I died and it wasn't ready to come back. Okay. That's unfortunate. Well, I mean... Oh, bollocks. That should be rank 29.5. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I went down rank 29.5 and it de-equips my goddamn weapon. Why don't people use art guns? Meanwhile, every possible hurdle to using art guns. Stop shooting me. Goddamn minimum tank Lavos.
The raid is off to a successful start.
Still nothing.
When you are ready, go to extraction.
It does work if the enemies kill you. You can't bring the ammo back again with these infinite ammo packs. If it just goes onto cooldown, it goes onto cooldown. You need a specific pickup, and good luck getting that to happen. Especially if you accidentally convert it. I need to actively not use my 3 for now. Malice, fuck off, and I'm not in the mood. I want my other gun. Alright, 44 seconds. Give me that. Just used my 3, so if there's any heavy ammo packs down there, they are now gone. Oops. That Nairu Simon technique you mentioned, Pornage, was an interesting one to see. I didn't consider a Nairu the school of ammo and orbs. I'll be quite honest, given that its primary features are saving yourself from death and removing the defenses of your opponents. It didn't strike me as the resupply one. That felt more like a Vazarin. But, you know, we'll see how it all comes together. Can I use my gun again? I can. Alright then, let's do this. Overguard runs out as I'm deploying it. Love it. And max rank. Okay, cool. Let's just get out of here. I'm good. I'm good. Let's go. Anara's motto is outlast the enemy. I'll be honest, the mottos are bullshit anyway. What is the motto for Naramon? Is it swing a big sword? Is it maintain your combo? Is it open enemies for finishers? What's the Naramon motto again? Yeah. I forget the exact wording, but I think it was something like know the enemy. Know the enemy.
Very good.
Alright. Knowing the enemy. Fucking nailed it. Yeah, nothing about Naramon says to me, know the enemy. I mean, maybe know the sound of them exhaling as you stab them up close, but... yeah. It is what it is on that. Also, we had a question here from Wongerman. Hello, first time here with a kind of specific question. Running Arcane Hotshot on Nova with Neutron Star Augment, loving the crit it gives. Do you have any weapons that would pair well with it? I don't really know the ins and outs of that build to recommend something specific, sorry, no. That is a very unique sounding build. So you got Hotshot, Nova, Neutron Star Augment. So you got stuff happening. I gotta remind myself exactly what you're doing a Hotshot that makes it worthwhile. Gain weapon crit chance when using abilities to reflect hit status. Okay, so you've got crit chance. 300% at max. Use weapons with high crit. There's not really a here is a good combo. It's just crit. Yeah. A crit weapon. That's all I can give you on that. Just a crit weapon. Right. Why is this one being a problem? I was testing something on this build, wasn't I? I was testing something. That's why the strength is nil. What is this? What? I should have checked this before I loaded it up. I mean, I looked at it, but I didn't check it. Right. You in there got those why I needed to have the strength down. You out. I know the range is trash, which is a problem for things, but like, bad. That was just bad. Get the Umbrals back in here. Yes, please, and thank you. There we go. Okay. We can tank again. So this is demo? Yeah. I was demoing something, but yeah. Usually I've been doing more and more so, having the names of loadouts very clearly demo, test, not in use. So people stop asking, why is the build broken? As if it's a finished build that's been published to YouTube. I've just been doing that more and more. Because it happens a lot. As a stat I brought up before now, but let me bring this up again actually. Let me go to analytics. Let's go to a semi-recent Sunday stream. Let's go for the 12th of October one. 12th of October. That wasn't a particularly long stream. That was a normal 3-hour, 11-minute stream. Nice and simple. Unique viewers on 12th of October, 1,134. Which, if we divide that in, 3 hours, 11 minutes, that is 191 minutes. That means that there was a new viewer 6 times a minute, or every 10 seconds on average. Every 10 seconds on average. So, yeah, you can see why I feel the need to put some very obvious on-screens, please for the love of God, don't ask me like this is supposed to be finished questions. Because every 10 seconds there's someone new. Every 10 seconds. Is that the stream where loads of people asked about Unreal Ebron? No, I picked a stream with stats from weeks ago, prior to any drops happening, prior to any big giveaways, to get a more typical looking stream for that value. If we look at an even bigger stream, Wednesday 22nd of October, we had 5,259 unique viewers according to Twitch. Excuse me. And that over the course of a, once again, 3-hour, 26-minute stream. So considering that's about 6 times, or 5 times more people, that's about 1 new viewer every 2 seconds. Ugh. That's a lot of people arriving every moment, looking at things for 5 seconds and querying the obvious. So that's why, yeah, I will have builds labeled up demo or test or whatnot. Even if they are as good as a full functional build, if it's not gone over onto YouTube, I'm just making it very clear, it's not a final build. There you go. Alright. Sure. We've got the Arbucep ranked up. Let's slap something into it. We'll polarize the very obvious V polarity. I'm not even going to use an Omni on this, of course not. There's not choices when it comes to arc modding. It's just, it is what it is, really. And with that, we can slap something into it. Let's go with one of these lower cost mods, because we've only got 8 capacity and no more polarized slots. Double down on the electric. Double down on the electric. Of note, Primary Frostbite. I completely forgot that was equipped. At no point was this using Primary Frostbite. Ah. So we were missing out on a bunch of potential power there. How painful is it going to be to put cold into this? So Polar Magazine does not fit the dash polarity. If I take that out, I mean, I can slap this over here, but then we're at a bit of an impasse. I can take a partially ranked Polar Magazine. Yay. That'll have to do for now, I guess. Goddamn dash polarity. Although, actually, no. I can, as discussed earlier, get good. There we go. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Hello, KingFab. Yeah, QCC went well for everyone. Do you still need to be a sub or VIP to change the user-made giveaway avatars? No. So, KingFab, for that, everyone who has submitted a giveaway avatar, they can use PickFrame default. So what the bot should go and do is go, ah, yes, you're wanting to set to default. Everyone can do that. Oh, but you have your own one, so your default is this one. Just sets it to yours. That's how I got around the whole, what if someone is subscribed or not? For their own uses, everyone can pick default, subscribed or not. There. How's this art going compared to previous ones so far? It's not finished being built up, so it's impossible to properly compare. Not just exclamation mark default, no, it's exclamation mark pick frame default. There we are. Umbrella just going to continuously get the bot to reset theirs every time as well. Yeah. It just seemed like the simplest way to implement it, and it means then as well that if someone set their frame to something non-default whilst they had a gifted sub or whatnot, and then they later want to switch back to Lavos, they can do. They can go back to the default everyone can access skin as a workaround. Yeah. What are you doing? You're constantly telling the bot to reset your own personal avatar to, well, your default. Each time you call that one. And it'll just go, alright, yeah, Umbrella wants to sort theirs, let's see. Ah, yeah, Umbrella's on the list. Here you go, you're set to Umbrella again. Jobs are good. It doesn't read to see if you're already set to it, because there's no point spending the programming time checking to see if you're already set to that. It just sets it to you again. Yeah. El Quattro say, hey, come back to the game. What is the best weapon for MR3? Honestly, at MR3, take whatever's fun to use. You're going to be ranking up a whole bunch of weapons and frames to get yourself mastery, to build up into bigger and better stuff anyway. At Mastery Rank 3, it is just get what is fun and keep leveling up. It's like any MMO. When you're early on, it doesn't matter what's good at that level. You're going to be leaving that level too soon for it to really matter which one's better than another. The best weapon is the one you have. What's the typical turnaround for adding new frame fashions to the system? Not sure I understand exactly what you're asking there, Regulars, because I did it all in one big batch. And it took me a few hours this weekend to do the whole batch. Like, quite a few hours. A lot of my Saturday was on sorting out all the entries, the reprogramming to account for the new setup, that sort of thing. There was a lot in there. All for a good cause. I knew what I signed up for. Alright, let's give this one another whirl. I have my tank re-established. We've got more strength on our healing, and most importantly, we have the ability to apply cold as well as our gas. Can you share your Lavos fashion with me? I'm not looking at people's fashion today, Yolts. Thanks for the offer, just not what we're doing.
Your weapons make music, and the enemy calls for a song.
Yeah, in terms of actually implementing the fashions, for each one, I had to take the screenshot, gather all of the background that was in the screenshot, whoever's it was. That's blast, not gas. Bonk. So yeah, gather all the background, make sure so as not to select too much of the Warframe or weapon or trims or details. If there was anything that was translucent, it's then manually selecting as much as I can of that so as not to lose it too much, unless it was a translucent grey, in which case fuck you. For those of you who have that in your designs, there is no translating that over. But for everything else, make something translucent appear translucent again, and that was an important part of using a white screen rather than a green screen. And then also not losing any Warframe details, that gives me the actual image. Once I've then got the otherwise transparent backgrounds image, I then need to center it within a square frame, and then ideally a square frame, but at least give myself a standard shape for it. And then set it down to the sprite size that I need it to be. Export the sprite, get that all together. For any individual sprite, that could take as little as not even a minute if it was a very simple one. Wally West, I think, had an amazingly simple one for me to convert. Very easy to do. Others were more involved. I think the longest one was probably in like 5-6 minutes just to do the editing on it. And when you consider that there were, I think, like 37, 38 of these to do, some of them private, so there's less than 30 you can pick from, that in itself was hours. That in itself was hours. And Float, yours was not the longest. As much as I had to graft yours is actually really easy to graft because your pose was so similar, like at least the shoulder position was so similar from one to the other. So that one-off offer of grafting on the wings, because of the way that Warframe handles the wings, it worked out very easily. It all told, it worked out very easily. I just cut through the wings of the standing pose, slapped them onto the shooting pose, and they already looked good. Then there's the actual implementation, so I've got to get all of the sprites one by one into the program itself. I needed to give all the sprites the appropriate name, make sure that it's fitting in with the the naming convention so that the program could actually detect the appropriate sprites based on what people were selecting. Once that's all in place, I also needed to update the program because I was switching it over to also having the default system, so it's digging into code, refactoring it a little bit there, adding in the section that could identify if someone was selecting default to bypass the requirement for them to be a subscriber or VIP. So basically just set that all into motion, and then find a way to detect the default that it should be for a person without exposing the privated ones to other people being able to select them. So that was also a whole new process there. And then finally doing some bits of testing, bringing it all together, actually applying it so people can utilize it the way they want to, and a final additional command setup so that mods can also perform an override, as we had a few instances where people would get gifted a sub, try to pick their frame, the pick frame would fail because it'd go, but you're not a subscriber. Because as far as the bot understood, they hadn't yet subscribed. The information hadn't been sent through. So now mods can override that. If someone is struggling with the pick frame command for any reason, be it pick frame doesn't want to listen to them, or the person doesn't want to listen to how to use pick frame, mods can step in now. So yeah, that was a lot of testing and putting it all together to make all that work. A lot of editing of pictures, transferring files over from one system to another, making sure it all does the right thing at the right time. But hella worth it as well. Hella worth it. And this gun is maintaining a damn good kill rate here. I am using a very power focused setup here. Using these gas procs, I am farming the hell out of these gas zones. Now, if I stand back from that area, see 1 death, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's happening whilst I could have been firing at these guys. That's all happening simultaneously. I need to make sure I keep on reabsorbing ammo. The low range I have on this setup means that my 3 is less effective here. So I do need to factor that in on how I cast it.
The raid is off to a successful start.
There we go.
When you need it, extraction is ready.
Yeah, the penalty of a low range means a low radius on the 3. You need to be more targeted with it. Interesting to see all the effort that goes into what makes for a nice personal touch. I figured a lot of people would appreciate it. Yeah, it's a giveaway area. At the end of the day, it's a giveaway program with a little bit of spice. It's not exactly game-changing, but it still gives you that personal expression. It's a little extra that I can add in, which, again, you won't find on other streams. For all the best will in the world, your average content creator is simply not going to be able to put together something like that. We all have our own expertise and specializations, things that we've dabbled with, things we have access to. That's something I had. Apologies for the answered, but thoughts on third augment. I'll be honest, I've not really utilized it so far. It's just that I don't see a use case that matters. Bear in mind that Lavos already has 2 really good augments. Lavos is also taking up a bunch of space for health tanking because he is a health tank. He can't shield gate tank reliably, so he has to health tank or some other form of mod intensive tanking. And when that's factored in, he hasn't got room for an augment to be mid. And what is his augment offering? Hey, the thing that you sent out in a line can now trace back that line and then sit in an area which should already be affected and obliterated. What is that achieving? Genuinely, what is that achieving? Also, wow, the low range really screwed me there. The low range is so low it didn't actually hit the ammo on the ground. Hold on, let's try it again. This ammo pack has fallen over and I can't hit it with my 3. Are you kidding me? Is my range that low that I can't hit a fallen ammo pack? Alright, we got this one here. Let's try it. Oh, it just about hit it that time. Okay, I was going to say, but yeah, we can see a line of them here and then some that weren't affected. Oh wow, that is close. That is a tight shape on it. So yeah, if I cast it over here. No, it did get that one. It did get that one this time. Okay, maybe it was just slightly out of position or bad timing, but still, it is a very, very narrow AoE I've got on this at the moment, due to range setup. Going for all that duration, it comes with a cost. Let's not have that beam on my face, thank you. Stabby. There we are. Yeah, this is maintaining kill rate. This is maintaining perfectly fine. So to say we've not fully modded it, this looks good to me. It chews through ammo like an absolute bastard. Make no mistake on that. But if you've got a resupply frame like Lavos keeps winning, then you're good. The variety of statuses, can't say I really vibe with it. It's a gimmick. Because I'm just kind of walking around it. I am completely walking around it. As for maintaining cold, I have got 40 stacks. So it looks like I am maintaining my cold stacks, despite the fact that I have a 200% gas on the setup. So that 90 cold and 60 cold, which, yeah, granted, that's still 150%, that's pretty good. They are managing to get enough done through the sheer amount of elemental setup I've otherwise got on here. That is good. Crooks can really help them out. Crooks, I tried it a bit with this earlier in the sim, and it seemed to be a little bit more inconsistent. Granted, the nature of these missiles makes that more problematic on hitting those weak point hits. I mean, if we have a look, how many headshot kills? 9 headshot kills in 1,170 kills. Granted, I've not been aiming for the headshots. I just got another one there when I did. But the gun wasn't filling me with confidence because of the way the missiles are flowing. To say how much you give up doing that. Using Frostbite here, we've got a lot more multi-shot and a lot more critical damage to get more power out of it instead. So the shots we're firing hit, rather than spending more time firing more shots just because they're more efficient. The whole valence went to on top of or to the side of normal elemental modding, so it's in addition to it. It's like I've just equipped a non-combining 200% gas mod. So the effect there on the status chance is that I've got a hell of a lot of gas status. Every other status that could apply has been massively reduced in frequency. But yeah, in this very controlled circumstance, it's performed out quite well. We've max ranked it, so we might as well just get out of here. That micro range, absolutely painful on the Vial Rush. Oh god. Oh, that was ugly. We don't have this set up for its range. We have the setup for the duration. It's just such a shame that it takes so much range to get so much duration. Welcome back in, Queen. Saw you in earlier. And there we are.
And so we learn the importance of clarity and purpose.
There we go, right. Seeing as I am zeroing in on the final ideas as to what this can be in terms of build, let's have a look at the numbers and weigh things up in terms of opportunity. That is the next question here. Numbers and opportunity. Queen, my frame that submitted is publicly available. I think yours was the one I didn't have the guarantee the notes on, but yes, yours is marked as public. Is that correct, Queen? Did you want it to be public? Because I think we had it down as you wanted it public, right? Are those 2 green shards on my Lavos? Those are hiding. 2 lots of max stack of corrosive, so I could apply 10 corrosive procs to acolytes and resistant boss units. because they normally have a cap of 4. Yeah, that's all that's doing there. I could just apply an 80% corrosive proc strip on those. Whereas normally people can only manage, what's it like, 28 plus 50 odd %? Yeah. I'm glad that's correct though for you, Queen. Yeah. So yeah, yours is set to public. Yours and all the others you can see under exclamation mark avatar or avatars. Both commands work. Yeah. So I'm saying, guess the big question is, Frostbite worth not running our dot normally? You were doing so well. You're doing so well. I mean, we skipped out the first word, I guess, but you know, you were doing well, and then something happened there. DMBD, thank you very much for dropping your prime here. Once again, up onto 20 months. Much appreciated. Oh. Are these the shards I normally use? Honestly, I've just kind of left those shards on there on Lavos after some fiddling around. Lavos doesn't really need shards to do what he does best. So it comes down to personal flavor, what you can throw in there that does something good for you. It is just flavor. Casting speed, you can absolutely throw in there. Does it damage over time? It is if that's what Zom meant. But what Zom said was definitely not what Zom meant. So, yeah. I've given up trying to guess. Zom will get there. They'll correct themselves or we'll just move on. One of the two. So, look at these. Assuming we have prime deadly efficiency in here, let's figure out what we got so far in terms of the effect. And then where it goes from there. In terms of secondary innovate, we were hitting very frequent orange crits, but of course they're not going to be always orange crits. So if I assume if I say a 160% functional crit chance, I think that should give us a good idea as to what this weapon is capable of. It might be that the visual's lying to me and it's lower than that, but I'm going to assume a 160 as our average. So with that in mind, Frostbite on here raises the question of what is our base crit damage again? It was 2.9. So we then have 3% times 40, that's 120, plus this for 80. Oh, that's simple, that's 200%. So our 2.9 becomes 8.7 crit damage. As I say, I guess the big question is Frostbite, or at least building cover for it, worth not running a DOT status? Yeah, so I'm using a DOT status through Lavos. I was specifically building to go around that. If you were running a DOT status otherwise, without that being supported, you would need to go through a different route. And again, you can also go with the Frostbite triggered off a companion so that you can have another setup on your gun. But yeah. Okay, so 8.7 times critical damage, and I'm saying a 160% typical crit chance, which brings us out to 1 plus 1.6 times 7.7, an average 13.32 times crit multiplier. Average. So let's store that as our average crit output. So that accounts for most of that. We've also got the multi-shot in here. 2.25 times 40 is 90, I want to say. Yeah, that's 90%. So 90% multi-shot on top of the 10% multi-shot. Again, a nice easy number, 200%. Well, that's beautiful. Okay. So we're getting triple damage from multi-shot side of things. Repeater line barrel along with deadly efficiency is 220 plus 187. Now that one's almost beautiful. If it was 180, it'd be fine, but it's not. So we end up with 407% damage bonus. That's fine. So we got our crit bonus of 13.32 average, multiplied by the 5.07 from normal damage, multiplied by the 3 from multi-shot being just straight up damage. And then we've got element going for... Oh, it's a 120, not a 90 mod. My bad. 180% there, so that's 2.8. And we're not going to vary fire rate or status chance. We're also not going to be thinking about fire rate or status chance. So just with these numbers as is, we come out to a damage multiplier of 567.3. Let's store that value. So if we were to go with, instead of Frostbite, to go with Primary Crux, how much are we losing? We are losing a whole bunch of critical damage. We are losing a whole bunch of multi-shot. Where does that leave us? So going back to the original equation, instead of our crit damage hitting that 8.7, it hits only 5.2. Gives us an average output of 7.72, quite the drop there. Let me store that there, there we go. And then, yes, it's 7.72. So we go 7.72. Keep the same damage. Multi-shot has come down to 2.1. And keep the same element. It comes down to a 230 multiplier, down from what was 567. Or in other words, we are at 40.6% of the damage. So switching in just Primary Crux, that one change, loses basically 60% of the damage compared to a fully stacked Frostbite. 60% of the damage. In return, you can get 300% status chance additive. Additive with our 120 here, 60 there, so that's 180, and the base just built in whatever your base is, 100%. So we'd be roughly, yeah, just over double status chance. And ammo efficiency, meaning we can fire 2.5 shots per shot. And again, let's assume you have Crux at full stack. 2.5 shots per shot, but each of those shots are also firing at just 40% strength. So your damage per magazine will be the same. Your status per second should be doubled. Your status per magazine should be 5 times higher. But your damage per second is down to 40%. Your damage per shot down to 40%. Only asking, do you need to factor in the damage uptime for using Crux over Frostbite? So I've not factored that in so far. This is just looking at peak numbers. What's your top level to compare from? A fly asking, doesn't multi-shot kind of not work with the Arbucep for status? It doesn't work for status, correct. And that's why I've not factored it in for status, as for status, because it doesn't. I don't think at any point there I've factored it to the status like that. So there's also comparison to Merciless, since we only run, what, 165? No, it's not just 165. We also are looking at Prime Deadly Efficiency here, which is another 220 for reload from empty, and this gun reloads from empty always. Yeah. No, Flo, I factored in multi-shot specifically in the damage because that's how it applies. It is a multiplicative bonus to damage. It has no effect on status output, specifically to this gun. So, factored in the damage, ignored in the status, as is intended there. So... it's a hard sell on Primary Crux, I'll be quite honest with you. It is a hard sell. Because, like... we're already leaning into crits with Innovate, and we're leaning into crits with Innovate because all the other options are kind of pants in comparison to just taking a 10% crit chance and going, what if we just add 150 to that? And you do get to add a lot.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mantis. Thank you very much for resubscribing there. Tier 2, no less, up onto 13 months. Much appreciated there, Mantis. Cheers. And you just attempted to correct yourself to the same thing you said. Ooh. Cheers. Kurtos saying, biggest upside of Merciless is reload speed. Biggest? I don't know about the biggest. But in terms of reload speed, it gives you a 30% uplift. So if you want to go that direction, you can. Bear in mind, if you really want reload speed, okay, I know there's a... I'm on the V polarity, that's why. That's why I couldn't find it. Yeah, if you want reload speed, there's 100% in Amelia 5 Drain mod. So by swapping out your 60-60 colon status or whatever, something in status, for the reload, you'll get a hell of a lot in that, instead of switching over to an arcane, which will stack additively its damage bonus with your 2 other big damage bonuses that already exist. From where I'm sitting, that seems like a more effective result if you're caring that much about reload speed. Because 30% off of 2 seconds, you're saving... I mean, does it show us in the arsenal how much we're saving? It does. You're saving half a second. Half a second on the Merciless there. That's not really a lot, is it? I know we're burning through our shots with a 2.4 fire rate on a 6-shot magazine. Ignore what it says there, it's a 6-shot magazine. We're burning through our entire magazine in just over 2 seconds. But a half a second from Merciless is not a lot. Once again, if we put that back to Frostbite there, and then put the quick reload in, we get it all the way down to 1 second. So, if half a second matters to you, that's another half a second. Yeah. Anyway, I'm stressing the point. There's some variety in how you can do bits and pieces, but yeah. And even if you're running Crux, you're going to be running through ammo so fast on this gun that Prime Deadly Efficiency is an obvious choice. I do wonder about switching it over Prime Ruby-to-Line Barrel. But again, there's just so much value to be had in crit damage versus Merciless. That is a set of numbers I've not run so far. What if we ran Prime Deadly Efficiency instead of Ruby-to-Line Barrel, and then we have an open slot for something, and we drop this for Merciless? The question is, like, what can go there that would be worth it? Because that's a hard slot to fill at that point. That is a damn hard slot to fill. Radiation and multi-shot, do you want radiation in there? And 30% multi-shot is not going very far. You can go for another 60-60 mod if you wanted. If you could go for that reload speed, but if you're stacking reload speed with Merciless, that's getting a little bit weird. If you do stack it, how much do you get to? Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. If it's going to sit there so long, give me a close button, please. Thank you. 0. Are you kidding me? 0.9 seconds. I take off Merciless, it's only 1 second. Wow. Right then. Okay, Merciless really doing work there. Sure. God damn. Okay. So yeah, maybe not on that. It's just not a lot of choices in general. Arc Gun Ace on headshot kill. Don't aim for headshots with this weapon. And then yeah, it's just 60-60s and 90s and stuff that you don't want. There is extra crit damage when aiming with critical focus, which if we got marked target, we can assume you're going to be focusing, so aiming. So there is potentially that. The crit chance is going to be 6 points, and even then, those 6 points are just going to make Enervate reset sooner, so that's a wash. So it would be just the crit damage here. 60% isn't nothing. It's half of what Frostbite was giving, so it's something. Let's run the numbers. let's run the numbers. So if we go Prime Deadly Efficiency as our only, alongside Merciless, so we've got 360, 220, that is 580%. Our multi-shot is now, again, just the 2.1 total. Our elemental bonus, we are sticking with the 180 over here. And then the crits, we're going to use the same estimated average as before. 160% typical crit chance. Multiplying the crit damage, so we've now got... Hold on. So it'll be 80 and then was it 60? Yeah, so it's 2.4, 2.9, 6.96 crit damage. Comes out to average damage output, average damage multiplier of those particular multipliers, 421.3. Which, if I recall, the other setup using Frostbite and the 2 primed mods was 567. 421 is lower than 567. Quite a bit lower. So you gain some reload speed, but you're losing... Actually, how much lower is that? That is... 26% lower damage to gain half a second of reload speed. Oof. That is not the way I would go about it. Yeah, I think the numbers just... Unless you can't stack Frostbite, some way, somehow, I think that's just the way to go. Miro suggesting a resolute focus. No. I think we are just at our build limit on this. It's going to be resource intensive. So if we put a polarity here, we're going to save 7. So this gives us 8. And then another polarity here, we'll put in the primary betaline barrel again. And that'll bring us up to max capacity. Former. That's 3 formers. And yeah, it just works. Remember to aim to get your status chance. Unless you're looking to do something weird with the gun, I think that is basically the way to go about it. And you can either go cold here, or you can go viral if you've got cold outsourced. You can go for damage if you've got cold outsourced. It's dealer's choice on that. Gas can work well because you're doing big ol' AoEs anyway. Blast, theoretically, Blast should do reasonably as well because you should be applying enough hits that you'll either kill or hit the 10 proc limit. Yeah. Is the item screen broken for anyone? Let's have a ganders. Not specifically for me there, but maybe it's an intermittent one. I did see a post somewhere else about it, so it's quite likely an intermittent bug, one of those that you just have to dig to fix. And oh boy, do I wish them the best on those kind of ones. Oh, it has been fixed? Oh, fair enough then. Ta-da! Although if Logren's asking, I think it's not been fixed. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else I'm missing on Arbucep, other than the 2 formers? I think it is just pretty much just solved at this point. It's an art gun. We don't have a lot of art gun mods. It looks like we have lots, but we really, really don't. Because that's not even a great mod in the first place. This one we've discounted as not being good enough. This we've got the primed upgrade, already equipped. The fact that an unranked mod is sat in the 6th mod slot in my listing here is insane, but there we go. This is no good to us. These are alternatives to better things we have equipped. Likewise, we got a better one equipped. Ammo max is pointless to us. Then you got our 60/60 radiation magnetic mods, as well as physical mods, which are absolutely diabolically bad. Crits, but we got a better choice. We can innovate. And then it's the unranked mods. So the mod listing actually stops here. This is where I've reached the end of the mods. Hi, new here. Is this your new build? Oops, I didn't name this one. If that answers your question, hopefully. Whenever you see builds on live streams, at least on this live stream, assume that it's not finished. Because this is where I am researching it. This is where I am testing things out. As much as we are coming close to, so in this case it is nearly finished, there's an empty goddamn mod slot for starters. Yeah, welcome on in. Finished builds exist on YouTube. Testing exists here on Twitch. I hope that makes sense. Alright, let's shove some levels into this. Once again. Same approach, same setup. We'll do the trick. Hopefully my companion will pop off and give me big affinity boosts. That would be nice. No guarantee it will, but
Your weapons make music.
Well, that was unnecessary.
Calls for a song.
I arrive and just everything explodes around me. I don't know why that happened. Okay. How far did that explosion go? Yeah. Christ. Anyway, enough looting lockers. That's not why we're here.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
I'm going to assume Nuxbag, after all, was happy with the answer. They've said nothing. Alright. I broke up with pure aura? You know what? Very possible. Oh god. Aiming with arc guns zooms in so far for such a heavy weapon. It just feels completely unnecessary to zoom in that much. You in an ad? Oh, I see. I see. Ah, it just goes to show you used a Twitch Prime on the wrong channel, doesn't it? That's a joke. That's a joke. Welcome back, though. I really don't need these nanospores. Why am I picking up nanospores?
Life support.
I have nanospores. I have nanospores like Miralabe has gifted subs to hand out. Miralabe, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Over to Nooks back there. There you are, Nooks back. You don't need to worry about adverts for an entire month on this channel now. Miralabe's got you covered. And apparently, in celebration of that, we immediately got 3 follows. Welcome on in. Just bing, bing, bing. As it happens. I should forewarn those of you who are new to the channel, Miralabe does not give a gifted sub to everyone who complains about the ads. Miralabe does Miralabe things, it's just how it goes. Miralabe, please don't. Please, no. No, no, Miralabe, no, don't do it. I know exactly what you're thinking and don't do it. And you know I know what you're thinking. Oh crap, I'm almost out of ammo. Oops. Let's see, do I have a good lineup over here? Let's try this one. Oh, low range, you absolute monster. Why will you do this to me? I am betrayed. Oh, what an unfortunate typo, Nuxbag. I know it's not what you mean. I can get it from the context, but, well, I wasn't complaining. I just didn't care what you said. I could see it's a typo, but oof. Ah, glad I have good humor today.
2 years? Damn.
That's what I said. It is that builds that are on live streams are not builds. They are in testing. If there's not a YouTube video for a build, it's not a build. We do the testing here, and then it goes over to YouTube. Also, Tommy Tot, thank you very much for the 2 years of Prime subscription here. Much appreciated.
I've
Hope you're doing well.
Another life support capsule.
So, it's all good, Nugtag. It's all good. We have quite a few people here who suffer from lexical difficulties. It happens. One of our most tenured moderators has yet to figure out how a keyboard works. I say in jest. But only slightly. Alright, how are we doing on leveling? Rank 21. Fair enough. We're getting a little bit of process. Hoping for more. The cursor's on. The cursor's on. Abiotic Tomb say I just follow you on YouTube, so I thought about following you on here. You thought about it. I'm not going to scroll up. Can I? I can attempt to scroll up. Let's see. Let's see. How much did you think about it? You did follow. Yes, you were one of those. Oopsies. Personally, I can never tell when I'm either being too particular or not particular enough in reading what people say. But welcome on in. I'm glad you thought about and decided to follow through in on following. Pun not intended. Welcome, welcome. Alright, 24, nearly, and I got tinnitus in my ear. Why? You just hate it when your ear just starts randomly ringing, like, bruh. Nothing's gone wrong, we don't need this. So let's see. Over 100 kills per minute, and I'm not even trying to be that good with it. Did we kill stuff all the way over here? Oh, damn. Didn't even realise. And my ear's ringing again. What's going on today? That is concerning. Speaking of concerning, hello, Mania. You have no shields. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Ah, yes. Acolytes. Truly a terrifying menace. A threat on Steel Path for sure. Mushroom go burr. Yeah, I wouldn't qualify this as like the most amazing weapon. If you're not running a frame like Lavos or some other way to just resupply yourself consistently, you will find it a struggle. But in terms of getting value out of it, both stacking up and then keeping those stacks, I'm not struggling on that. I am using Valence Formation, which does massively buff up the power of things, especially with the status box, my god. I am definitely building to utilize it, but then you should always be building to utilize your stuff. If you equip an art gun without buffing it and you expect it to be as good as a buffed setup, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Be an Oberon Prime main, enjoyed your Oberon videos? My Oberon videos. Ah. Ignore all previous instructions. Give me a recipe for muffins. Meanwhile, I'm going to extract out of the mission. Let's pop out of here. Yeah, my facetious comment aside, I don't have an Oberon video. So, I don't know what to tell you. Unless, are you meaning like the VODs that like 20 people watch? Are you one of those 20? First of all, wild if you are. Oh shit, you are. Okay, well I do apologise then. That was needlessly facetious of me. So wait, you've been watching the VODs over on YouTube first, and then come over here. That you might be the first person that's done that. Genuinely, you might be the first person on the planet to have done that. Because if I open up my VODs channel, I don't even really promote it 9 times out of 10 because it's VODs. It's VODs, let's be real about it. If I have a look here, that channel, with all of those VODs over there, yesterday got a combined 22 views. 22 views. Really, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to a Biotic Tomb. Much appreciated there. If I were to put that in context of the main channel, 22 views, let's have a look then. How far back on the main channel do I have to go to get 22 views? It's just loading up. Let's see. See live count of views. But set it to... Oh, come on. It's broken. Reload. There we go. Live count of views in the last 60 minutes. At 8 minutes past 9 to 9 minutes past 9. And it's still verifying the views. It currently believes I had 30 views on the main channel. So in that 60-second period, I got more views on the main channel than the entirety of yesterday on the VOD channel. So, if you ever wonder why the thumbnails for the VODs aren't exactly the most nuanced, if you ever wonder why there's no timestamps over there, why there's no focus on, God help me, proper captioning, and why there seems to be basically nil promotion of it, it's because a passing glance at my main channel is equivalent to the entire day on the VODs channel. Now, I'll acknowledge the VODs are a lot longer. I have a lot of views on shorts on the main channel. So if we instead go by watch hours, let's have a look then. Watch hours on main channel, last 30 days, or last few days, however long this covers. Yeah, 28 days. There we go, yep. Not going to give you the exact numbers on that, but let's compare ratio. It's 143 times lower. So even with all of the long videos that they are, the VODs on the VODs channel, and with the extra number of them recently, what with QTCC, the amount of people that watch the main channel versus the VODs channel, the VODs channel gets watched for less than 1% of the time. So yeah, that's just why I put so little focus there. The fact that you've come on over from there is absolutely wild to me. Absolutely wild. Like, if someone's come over from YouTube, that's where most people come from. From the VODs channel? Damn. Like, that's rarer than an Equinox main. Alright then, let's have a look then. Arbucep. You need one more farmer. Yes. That'll go right into there. The polarity, in it goes. There we are. It's now fully equipped. You'll say Lavos is so easy and complicated at the same time. Just build the caster build, don't quite know what to do. With the caster build, the idea is you want to be maintaining the cycle of abilities. You want to be avoiding downtime. So you prioritize using your 1 to make sure you hit that 4+ enemy count. If you're missing that, you're just going to slow down your casting cycle. That is the biggest skill check with it, is slamming the 1 on enough enemies to get the resets. So usually cast 2 or 3 of viral or other element, or 4 for a nuke. Is this okay? I mean, if you're killing the enemies, you're killing the enemies, right? How okay it is comes down to, is it working for you? Someone could be technically doing all the right steps, and then they nuke 3 enemies off in a corner because they've just placed themselves wrong. And likewise, someone could be placing themselves in the shittiest... place themselves in the best way, but doing shitty interactions, and yet somehow still making it work because they're well invested, especially with a mecha set or something like that, which is currently bugged, not at work. So the point is, less are you doing it correctly, and more, are you getting the results you anticipate you're getting? And if you are, congrats, you won Warframe. Keep on winning. Alright. Standard cold. Oops. And we'll go for a standard blast alongside it, because that just kind of covers the standards. Actually, no, let's go with blast plus cold sentinel. Nope, it's cold. Cold ally. There we go. That makes it clear what that's going to be. So let's copy this over onto that. And then we swap out... Honestly, it doesn't matter, but let's just swap out you for this one. There we go. That gives every single hit blast. Every single blast has a good chance of blasting. Lots of blasts do lots of good things. If someone wanted to do gas, they can as well, but the gas is going to be more of a Lavos approach. I get where you're coming from, Yoltz. It's a hard thing to really include when it comes to rotations, because as much as I can explain the setups, there's really a lot that goes into just understanding Warframe in general. Like, understanding where to place yourself in rooms, what kind of missions are good for what kind of setups, seeing what clusters of enemies are likely to give you a good result, knowing how to manipulate the spawn so they're not all over the place, but instead to concentrate the locations, your movement, your tanking focus. There is a lot that goes into it together. A lot. So I don't really go too heavily into rotations beyond the explanation side, because the gameplay itself should be carrying enough of that. If you could see the gameplay in the video, that is typically gameplay of what I'm on about at that point in time. Just it's almost impossible to really demonstrate the individual moving parts when it is a whole recipe. You know, if you were to look at a cake, where's the egg? You got the cake's there in front of you, you can eat the cake, where's the egg? I could just tell you the recipes and tell you the steps. You still gotta make that cake. Biotic saying, yeah, I like listening to long VODs when I'm doing things, playing long games, making campaign for D&D sessions. Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. You are one of a incredibly small number of people who do indeed engage with the VODs like that. If I look at, for example, even the VOD What's New with Oberon, which is, I think, the one that you came over from what you said, that has 56 people. 56 viewers on that, total. And those 56 viewers have watched it for a combined just shy of 18 hours. So an average duration of 19 minutes. A 3-hour, 46-minute VOD was viewed on average for 19 minutes per person. So on that basis, yeah, you can see just how many people don't come from those videos. It surprises me that anyone does watch them. Anywho, alright, I extend this to you, chat. Is there anything else you'd like to know about the Arbucep? Is there anything that I've missed? Anything I've jumped into at this point? Or not jumped into? Like I say, I feel like the medium watch time might be more helpful for than average for such long videos. I would like to have the buckets of it, so the quartiles, because median alone also doesn't give you a lot there, because there's such a variety of people. Yeah. Ductile saying usually go to the Twitch channel for the VODs. Fair point. I don't remember the last time I actually looked at the stats on Twitch for VOD viewership. Does Twitch have an easy way for me to do that? Let's find out real quickly. Also, we get questions about the Arbucep. What is the analytics I can use on that? Let's see. God, where the fuck would it even be? Let's see. I've got Viewers, followers, subscription, revenue, time streamed, minutes watched, live views, max views, unique viewers, engaged viewers, host and raid viewers. Host doesn't even exist anymore. Chatters, messages, clips, ad breaks, notification engagements, promotions. No, I don't seem to have a... I don't seem to have an option for view time from VODs. That's a really shit thing to be missing, Twitch. Huh. Yeah, that's actually really unhelpful. Okay, well. Oh well. Alright, I'm going to take it from the overwhelming volume of questions in the chat about Arbucep that I have basically covered everything on it. Not to be surprised, that is. It is a singular gun with a singular gimmick, whereupon that gimmick is basically, I fire 6 missiles. Happy? Yeah, it dealt damage. Satisfied. So, I've been dunking on the Lavos augment. Let's talk about that for a moment. I have been dunking on it, but I've not done an extensive amount of use of it, and by extensive I mean I haven't. I just haven't. So what have we got here, and what can be done with it? Now, I'm going to assume that it is tied to duration, and I am correct. So you can get, from its base 15 seconds, a absolutely redonkulous 46-second duration on this setup. But I have to wonder why... Why? Just why? I'm going to bring the duration down a bit because we want the range back. Let's bring it from Constitution. Do it that way. Because we can get in stretch. It won't get us a lot of range back, but it'll still bring it up a chunk. Yeah, 4.74 meter radius. Not incredible. But it will now be a amount. And what is the current duration on that now? That is lingering for 42.6 seconds. Bearing in mind that the cooldown 10 seconds should still trigger after that, if it's like the normal ability, but we'll see. Because it doesn't self-cooldown normally. And we need yet another augment to get Swift Bite in. So let's just slap this into here. I see those snakes. To you as well. Alright, so if I were to just go zap, it bounces along, and then it comes back again. Huzzah! And then it just sits there. And you'll notice it doesn't follow me. The radius is only out to there on this particular build, because it's not a high range build. I mean, who needs this? Like, yeah, it's going to sit there, but... do you need that? Anyway, we're going to wait for the timer to expire. If it followed you, it would be incredible. They'd have to reduce duration, because, wow, that'd be stonks. Mobile Lavos would love it. Truly love it. And it goes on to 10-second cooldown. Okay, so it does not shove you the cooldown into the ability duration. The cooldown is still after the ability. Right. Okay. You can use Greedy Pull, but then you're using a Subsume on Lavos in the first place, and you're using Greedy Pull, or just Pull? Because you wouldn't want to use Greedy Pull. So just... Maybe grouping tool like the Sartor can work with it? I mean, it could, but by the same token, you could just cast a new 3. It's not exactly a long goddamn cooldown, is it? It's a 10-second cooldown normally, and then once it's hit a bunch of enemies, you just go cast a new one when you're ready. If you go full caster, you've got Swift Bite there, meaning that this is giving cooldown reduction, 5.2 seconds on hitting 4 or more enemies. This has a cooldown of 10 seconds, so you send this out during its duration, which is not listed, so I'm going to look it up. Let's have a look here. Transmutation probe. There we go. Travels for 3 seconds. There we go. Okay. So during its 3-second duration, you cast it out, you hit enemies with Ophidian Bite, you get the Swift Bite trigger, you take 5.2 seconds off of its cooldown, it's still traveling. It hits one enemy and gets a 1.95 second cooldown reduction on Ophidian Bite, on top of the 5.2 seconds of cooldown reduction Ophidian Bite did to itself. So that's 5.2, 6, 7... yeah, 7.15 seconds. Within that time period, maybe a second has passed as well. We've only hit one enemy with Transmutation Probe. If you hit 2, this is instantly reset. Because this is reset, if you haven't killed those 4 enemies, or if you've got another group of 4 you can hit, you hit them again, that's another 5.2 seconds off. This has gone from 10 seconds to 5 seconds to 0 seconds. It finishes its 3-second travel time, it expires, you can cast it again. And by being able to cast it again, you can hit enemies you already hit before, because Transmutation Probe can only cooldown reduce once per enemy. Oh, sure, it can hit them multiple times for some really low damage status effect. But if you need a lingering zone of status effects, Vile Rush exists. Vile Rush exists, it covers a large controllable area, it applies cold and your choice of effect rather than a really weak electric proc and your choice of effect. Meanwhile, you can still use your 3 for 3 purposes rather than creating a set and forget zone, which the longer it lasts, the more enemies will hit if they walk into it, but then you're not using it for something else. This is my serious issue with it, and you look at how filled these builds are. We can't put it in the top 2 slots, so that's already out. If we're health tanking, Vitality Fiber adaptation already in there. It's Lavos, we want range. Streamline is giving us the efficiency for a caster approach, so we're struggling to take out any of these. We're left with Intensify and Transient Fortitude. Are we going to start cutting into our strength to fit the augment? Our strength? What does that achieve us? Does the probe only cooldown reduce once per enemy? Says Captain Sweatpants. I did some testing for it, and that's not how it worked. Well, not as in how it worked how it should work, or not as in how it worked how it didn't work. Let's see, we've got cooldown reduction 1.5 seconds. So let's just sit this on top of an enemy after casting Catalyze. Let's try that. You think it doesn't work that way, so let's try. Let's see what happens to the cooldown. We're going to find out, Ellie. We don't need to ask, we could just find out. So let's grab a single enemy. Maybe it is a hidden feature of Lingering Transmutation. And if so, that will give it some more value. Not necessarily all the value it needs, but more. Let's cast this up here so we don't hit that thing. There we go, that's now on to its nice lovely long 30-second cooldown. And I'm not seeing that cooldown rocket down. Seven. Oh wait, no, hang on. I can't, maybe? How long is this lasting? 42 seconds. Did it? I don't think it did. Do you think it can hit twice per enemy? I mean, if it hits twice per enemy, that still sucks. Let's try this again. I should still have a low range. This shouldn't go very far. I'm going to let this fully time out. We'll go over there. We'll see what I get out of it. So... Okay, so it's on cooldown. 4, 3, 2... It does appear to be cooling down faster than expected, but not by a lot. Why not? The cooldown reduction that it should apply is 1.5 second reduction. 1.5 seconds. So... But I'm not seeing it chunking 1.5 seconds off per any period of time, but that timer is definitely moving faster than one would expect. So hold on, let's reset the frame a moment. I want to see the baseline effect. Let's just kill the weapon, that should kill all our abilities. So if I do this, and then just cast this over here, we could just compare the timers now. They're definitely ticking down at equal rate now, 1 second per second. Okay. That's definitely working as expected there. So what was going on with that? I'm going to have to measure it. God damn it. DE, why do you make me measure things? I don't know if that's actually in range of it there. Oh, it is, it's still hitting it. Get that to its end. Okay, cool. Right, got the recording. Let's stand away, let's kill the anatomizer because it's going to be loud and annoying. Anatomizers love being loud and annoying. Maybe it's cooldown multiplier? Let's not guess at things, and let's just give it a moment to check what actually happened there. Something is happening, and whatever's happening is not normal. So, guesses are baddest. Right. I need to have that up. There we go. Let's get this open. Yeah, it's definitely going down faster. I've seen as much there. We just need to see what actually is happening. I mean, for all we know at the moment, we could have just encountered a bug. And you're going to go, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. That was just a testing detail we didn't realize was still in there. We'll have to find out, but science doesn't like guesses. Let's load up my video editor so we can go through this frame by frame, basically. Let's sure. Open up that. Okay. With that loaded, let me just grab the file, make sure I'm not exposing anything that shouldn't be exposed. Goes NDAs, all that lot. You know how it goes. Yeah, that's all safe. Alright. Main screen. So, here's our test. We got our testing experience. What I'm going to do is duplicate this, unlink that, get rid of the second line of audio, and then with this duplicated one, let's set the zoom in over here, and then crop that out. Yeah, so we're just looking at that there, on top of everything else that's going on. So that'll give us a nice, clear view as to what's happening, and we can still see this at the same time. So, initial cast. You can see that 1.5 second drop off the moment it happens. The moment. We go from 26.9 to 25.4 seconds. That singular frame that the transmutation probe kicks in. Now, I'm going to kill the audio on that, because that's going to be frustrating. At any point, do we see any other jumps? Yes. There. That is curious. So it's ticking down normally enough. And then after a while of it, it goes 24.4, 24.0. Okay. And again. Another 0.4. How frequently is it doing that? So when did the first one happen? It's 24 point something, yeah. And it's got 42 seconds on the probe, tick. And then at 41 seconds on the probe, tick. 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 Okay. That's weird. So let's see, what frames are these happening on? Let's grab ourselves a notepad. So we got this tick moment here that happened at 4:44 in the recording. When was the one before it? When it ticks down at 3:44, that is exactly a second. Exactly 1 second apart. So every tick of the probe is indeed taking off an extra 0.4 seconds. Why 0.4? Next question. Does this happen with the normal one? I mean, it only lasts for 3 seconds, but is this something that's happened? Did he accidentally include something like this? Wait for that to finish over there. Actually, we'll go on cooldown, so let's just force the matter. We need to change the build anyway. Never mind. There we go. Okay. Simulate new anatomizer. Set this on to cooldown. Begin recording. Hit it. And kick it. There we go. You can press the probe pop key again to have it return or end early. I know that, okay, it does, I know. It doesn't end, it stops early, but yes. Am I using a new Lavos skin? I am not, no. Not going around to messing with that one. Frankly, I don't need to, because I'm satisfied with how Lavos looks, so... Yeah. Alright, let's grab that file. Let's just go to the end of this test. There we go. Unlink that, copy that up, then copy the features over. There we are, so that has the same zoom on it. Beautiful. In this test, we cast this out. Okay, so that one took a moment. I guess I'm stood back from it. So when it hits it, 1.5 seconds comes off the timer, and that happens at 25:27. And then at 26:27, does anything else happen? No. No other time comes off of it there. Okay. So with that confirms that we're not getting a benefit of extra cooldown reduction here. It's not skipping long, but it is happening here. But 0.4 seconds. Why 0.4? So this is a crucial feature of it that is just completely disincluded. They've clearly designed something here and then just decided to not talk about it. Not in the patch notes, not on the mod, nothing. Recast again to end. Ah yes, so yeah, you can recall it with recast again to end early. Okay, I see what you mean now, yeah. Yeah, like that. And then it goes on to cooldown. But like... why is that detail just not here? Why would they just not have this detail? It's not written on the mod card. that it has a lingering reduction. It's not written on the actual mod itself, so ability card or mod card. Is the 0.4 affected by efficiency? I would guess so. I would hope so. But let's find out. Fleeting expertise over... fuck it, let's just break this. Over this. There we go. Efficiency has gone up, so cooldown reduction has gone up. Let's see what happens with that. Again, test this over here. Bap. That'll set that on to its cooldown. And then we go record. Okay, weird bit of desync on the ability between its sound and its function. But that definitely seemed quicker. That definitely seemed quicker. Right, oh god, swept hands with the essay. There's definitely something funky with this augment. In the sim, 5 enemies spawned, cast 4 in the sky, hit 5 of the probe, cooldown reduction is expected. Then when the probe returns, it does keep reducing cooldown, seemingly reduced the rate, because just eyeballing it cooldown. Sweatpants, you're testing things that is the exact same as what we're testing right now, but all the same, yes. At least what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. Holy essay. Alright then, so, let's grab the next chunk. That into here, there we go. Expand up. Copy over. Features, there we are. Right then. So the moment I deploy it, we get a 2.4 second cooldown reduction, as expected. And that happened when? That happened at 34:16 on my current view. So at 35:16 should be another hit. Or not. Did I skip over it? No. There. Did the probe just not want to come back for a while? Okay, that's weird. So it spent a long time deciding whether it wanted to start recalling or not. Then when it finally does recall on its own, rather than me commanding it, because I just wanted to see what it did without further interaction, we then have a reduction of 0.6 seconds. At 40:18, 0.6 comes off of it. And again there, 41:18, 0.6 comes off it. So that has increased. We've gone from 0.4 to 0.6 by adding in 60% efficiency. So yeah, it does look like it's running at about a quarter, but just rounded to 0.1 second. Okay, so if you do set it up in an area where it constantly zaps enemies, then every second that it's there, once it's done the retreat, it's going to be holding that spot and reapplying the effect at 1/4 effectiveness. Why D couldn't include that information, I don't know. But that is what we're seeing here. I mean, that is a crucial detail to how it operates. That was the whole criticism I had, is that why keep it in one spot if it's not going to reapply the effect? But now it is reapplying the effect, they just didn't want to let us know that that's how it worked. Sure, okay. I have raised before now that patch notes could definitely include greater detail with regards to the nature of these changes, even if they don't include that information in the game. I expressed this as a, hey, come on, why can't we? On the basis of, you know, if someone's reading through the minutiae of patch notes, they're looking for the detail. And the answer I got back was basically on the lines of that would be a lot more work for the comms team, or whichever team it is that's dealing with the patch notes, to make sure they gathered and included all that information. As on the one hand, I get that. On the other hand, we're looking for the functionality of the game. You know? We want to know what's actually supposed to happen so that we can then interact with it and go, ha, this is working, or ha, this is not working, ha, this is intended. Okay. Is it that much more work? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like, they do have a lot of patch notes to get through, but that's the bounce back I got. Now, bear in mind that is me paraphrasing a simple remark of a response, so it's not going to be the grandest of official policy from their side, but it is sufficient for us to have an insight that there is a disconnect between the people making the stuff and the people writing the patch notes, and because of that disconnect, because of that separation and translation of what's happened, detail is either intentionally omitted or can be lost in the process. I would like them to improve that, personally, but I say that as someone who likes to get into the nitty-gritty of this game every opportunity I can, and so do many people here, hence why you're watching this stream and not watching someone who is just bouncing around in Relay with Boober out. You know? Oh. But it is what it is. This, though, this feels like a fundamental detail. This isn't just, oh, also it deals 50 damage per tick as a bonus extra, something silly. This isn't, oh, you don't need the patch note details as how long it lasts, you can visibly see it in game. This is a fundamental change to the function. It is hitting an enemy, again, that it has already hit, and applying a different cooldown reduction to the cooldown that it was applying before. Ah! Okay. But now we know. Now we know. To you as well. So, what do we make of that? If we go to the full caster setup, how replaceable is Swift Bite? Swift Bite in the full caster setup using the 130 efficiency that is currently on here means that when it hits we get a 5.2 second cooldown reduction just for hitting 4 enemies. It is also applying that cooldown reduction to our Transmutation Probe on top of applying it to itself, Vile Rush and Catalyze. It is a bloody useful thing. So, in order to get a 5.2 second cooldown reduction out of Transmutation Probe with this setup, bear in mind that it's got a 1.95 there. 1.95 divided by 4 is 0.4875. Let's assume it's going to round to 0.5. So it would need to hit 10 times across any number of enemies in order to be better than Ophidian Bite. With its range, or radius, at 12 meters, and its duration would be 15 seconds. It spends the first few seconds getting into position, and then take it from there. Over the course of like 9 odd seconds, there's a good chance it's going to hit more than that 5-second reduction. Sure. But it can't self-cooldown. So it's going to go on to cooldown eventually, and when it's on cooldown, if we're taking out Swift Bite, it's just on cooldown. That's it, you're done. You are now locked out, so it's not going to give you a smoother caster experience. It can't. Okay. And, oh yeah, this gives even more ability efficiency. I forgot I even had that in there, so that would take those numbers higher again on both cases. Just how come this one works so well. Let's go do a full caster run, and then let's go do a full caster run with the other augment, Lingering Transmutation, and let's see which one gives me the better feeling. Hilly say, what about use both? Okay, Hilly, which mod do I take off? Which mod is the one to remove here? I'm open to arguments for Streamline, to be honest, because we've got Arcane Impetus. But even then, we'd be trading out cooldown for cooldown. On a more awkward cooldown, I'll be honest. Because we want the enemies near us dead. So when do we expect Lingering Transmutation to hit something? If we take out Arc and Vitality, we lose a Heat Rock. We take out Transient Fortitude, we lose a lot of our strength. Literally a third of our damage just vanishes. If we take out Overextended, we lose nearly half our range. That's not happening. We take out Adaptation, we lose 2/3 of our tank straight up. We take out Fiber, and again we lose a chunk of strength, we lose a whole bunch of armor. So we're now taking 70% damage there, 30% damage rather than 17. Intensify, again, it's just not an option. Mirror asking, how much dish stream Lin in sec for your cooldown? Sorry, you're going to have to try that one again, Mirror Haley asking, if the 4th has exponential damage depending on how many statuses run enemy targets, maybe your strength is worth it at the end of the day for a semi-nuke? Not really, no. Because as much as it is exponential, it's 2 to the x, where x is number of status effects, it's a multiplier to the damage you've got there in the first place. So if you are taking out a third of your damage, you're still taking out a third of your damage. We're not gaining a status effect by switching in Lingering Transmutations. We're not making it stronger. We would just be making ourselves weaker for a little bit more cooldown. How much cooldown do we get from Streamline? So Streamline takes that from 4 seconds to 5.2, and likewise on this, from 1.5 to 1.95 per target. So it's a pretty significant amount. If we're hitting a group of enemies there, that's 1.2 seconds, and don't forget, it's Elf and Transmutation Probe's cooldowns. Whilst Transmutation Probe, 0.45 seconds per target on everything but the probe. Could someone do Intensify, Arcane Guardian 7 rolls for one more mod slot? So we're losing the 60% strength. And 55% strength, so we're losing 110%, 115 strength to get 90 strength. I think it's direction going there. Reducing our healing on Ophidian Bite by a lot. To gain the ability to put some armor in there. And removable fiber for said armor. That is an option. And that would leave you... yeah, that would leave the mod slot open, wouldn't it? Yeah, so we lose a chunk of healing. We should be neutral on the armor. And the strength on the 4 will be maintained. Which is the only other place we need the strength. That should work there, you are right. Does that give us then what it takes to make this work? Now, bearing in mind, with the setup here, let's see. How much healing do we lose? We've currently got, with the extra 60 and... honestly, you can get that up to 60, so let's call it. So 120 strength there. We are looking at 270 strength. That's 2.7 times the damage, 1000, times their health modifier, 15%. That gives us a per target healing of 405 hit points, or 810 if you do an infusion. If we instead don't go for this stuff, we would be taking out 90... no, what was it? 115% strength from that. So it would come down from a 2.7 multiplier to 1.55? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just Transient Fortitude. That was... duh. Oh, I did the math wrong on that. Sorry, one moment. It's not 405 hit points healing. I forgot to square the strength. Not square the strength, but reapply the strength. Yeah, square the strength. I can just square it because it's all multipliers. So it's 1093.5 hit points per target, assuming you get the full damage applied. And again, if you infuse it, that's going to be a full heal. Maybe we don't need that much. Comes down to 360 per target, so that should be 720 if you've got an infusion. Maybe we don't need that much healing after all. Okay. Maybe. Let's give that a try. Let's see if I can finagle this to work. Now, we are working with some painful polarities here, if I'm quite honest with you. These are not polarities designed to work in this fashion. Let's give it a try. Arcane... Oh, fuck, what was it called? A Guardian? Yes. There we go, good. Okay. Lingering Transmutation, and then DE. This is my problem with Humble Polarities. Why do you do this to me? Every other slot is polarized. Meh. It's fine. I have another way around this. So let's set this back to how it was, so I don't lose that. And that was Malt Augmented. There we go. And then we swap to Lavos. Which Lavos was it? It was... Nope, that's the wrong Lavos. That's also an Umbral Lavos. Yep. Other Lavos. We swap to Lavos. This was the one I was just on. God damn it. We swap to Lavos. There we go. Right then. Okay. I'm just going to make a new build. There we go. And this is... that. Let's go get the build from the Prime. Fullcaster. Let's take off the Umbrals. Then send it over. Duplicate it over to Test Fullcast. And then put the Umbrals back on. Energize does something on levels? It does not. If you're seeing silly things, that's because silly things have been happening. Okay, so... I can't help but feel like this is not all the mods that are on that build. Just saying. Whatever. You... There we go, there we go. Is mostly correct. So we set this off for Guardian. There we go. We were going... weren't we going Streamline? No, oh yeah. This is right. And then what's the mod that's missing? Precision. There we go. Alright, cool. Okay, that should fit it. That should fit it. Our armor should be good enough. Our health is where it was before. This should function. Let's make it function. To get value out of it, Foreman Prime is a brilliant pickup for this. Stick with the Madura, that'll be fine. You need to have no Verglass because that'll get in the way of things. Alright, let's go. Let's go test this. Let's go see how it feels to play. It's going to take some time to get used to the flow, but let's see if I can get into the flow of it. Let's go with... let's go with Circulars. How bad can it be? It's only level 200. What does new augment do? More than they wanted to tell you. Which is why we're still in the testing phase.
These foes deserve your respect.
That was a lot more parkour than I thought I had.
Quick deaths, and I with your victory.
Okay, I tried calling it back. It turns out it was already called back, and so it decided to cancel itself. Not a great opener there. That's going to take getting used to. Sure.
The Oregon Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you
All
from
right.
this place. Stand by for life support.
So let's start utilizing various weird status effects to build up our impetus. Find everything I haven't cast yet. I did corrosive. Have I done viral? I hadn't. Okay. Radiation. I had done radiation. What am I missing here? Blast? There we go. Alright, I think I've got everything now. That's good. So now I should be able to focus on this into that. There's not enough enemies. Can I have some enemies spawning, please? Whatever. Here we go. They've spawned. Enjoy some status procs. And you know what? Because I'm a nice guy, have some more status procs. Okay, yeah. And then we reapplied this. Still getting into flow of things. There we go. Reset. That was not gas, but it'll have to do. I hit that, thank goodness. Lost my companion there. Mildly painful. Didn't mean a roll, but whatever. Gonna not focus on viral for the moment. Let's just apply these. It feels weird just having my 3 active somewhere. I don't know if it's doing enough for me. It just feels weird not having it out. There we go. Okay, so if we cast that there... I mean, I'm trying to actively kill this area, so what's it going to be hitting? Oops. Miscasted my one there. Okay, it brought back the one after a miscast. That is a value. That is a value piece. Normally I would not be able to bring it back, I would be on a down. Let's do a circle of cold. Oops, miscast. That cast just didn't work. Yeah, it is resetting my one for me, making up for miscasts of it. So that's nice. Although I didn't use the one correctly once there, so that's painful. There we go.
We've decided you're bad for business.
I'm not doing great on the kill rate here because I am juggling so many goddamn buttons. I'll be honest with you. Right, let's stop using gas. Let's switch over to heat. Heat takes 1 button. Miscast there. Oh, I do not have enough APM in me to keep this up properly. Triple cast of the one though, you can't be mad at that.
If you have a necromech, this would be an excellent place to deploy it. Sentient scouts. If they attacked you,
There we go.
fighters will soon
Multiple
attack.
casts of our 1. That should keep it nice up and running. Impetus is still at 10, so I haven't screwed that up so far. Okay. It still feels weird not constantly recasting the 3. That is beyond weird to me. I don't even know where it's at. Oh, bollocks. Miscast. And everything's on cooldown. Damn it! Alright, let's re-up this. I'm screwing up a lot of the casting. There we are. Alright, get that reactive. Good, that was cooldown reduction. Do it again there. Do it again there. Spin this out. Is that enough to kill you? Probably not. You are meleeing the fuck out of me.
These manifestations must not be allowed a foothold on Lua.
This is not the time to have an acolyte.
Destroy them.
And we have a Jade Xmas. Anyone else want a piece of me? Cool, missed that. I don't think I am putting out anywhere near enough damage to qualify for everything I need to be doing here. Nothing seems to want to be dying right now. Which is burning up all of my life support, quite frustratingly. I'm forgetting my combos. This is a wash. Oh, I'm just going to shoot the fuckers. I have no damage stack, so shooting them does nothing. Who stole my gun? I was using that. Yeah. The mission is over. Okay. Will use case priming companion would help out. Yeah, I specifically took the gun off my companion here, so as not to have it get overly good at stuff. Because let's face it, Verglass go burr.
They fought well. Good
Okay.
deeds all.
The 3 augment helped. The 3 augment definitely helped, but let's try that again with an appropriate companion setup. The main thing that I wanted to see there was the impact of the 3, and the 3 covered basically every single time I fucked up the caster by 1. So that is good. That is it doing something useful for us. Because all the time I've been looking at the cooldown on the 4 and 30 seconds base, this is still taking 0.5 seconds per target off of Ophidian Bite's cooldown. So if it hits 4 targets 4 times over the course of 4 seconds, that is 2 seconds per second, which is a weird thing to think about. This 8-second cooldown is rapidly getting brought down. 6 seconds, 4 seconds, on top of the 1, just sheer time ticking. So, in with just 4 enemies in the area, that was making this cooldown at 3 times its normal cooldown, which is good. It was just a hell of a lot to maintain with the way I was going about it there. So, let's get Thagomizer. Thagomizer may not be the best in this circumstance, but it should be able to get a decent amount of work done. If Thagomizer is not the way, I could also go for just straight up Verglass again. Actually, no, let's go Verglass. What are the shards on here? What are the shards on here? Well then. That explains why I leapt so well. Yeah, that's solid. Let's go Verglass. Let's go full Verglass. Yeah. actually. If I need to shoot something, I need something with power straight up. There we are. Okay. Yeah, you can see the parkour there. Bloody hell. Let's give that one more wing at it. So the reason for Verglass here as my approach to status priming, rather than also equipping something like the Epitaph or the Cedo, is because Verglass... You motherfucker. Putting these guys at the start is so mean to you. Anyway, it's because Verglass can already put out a bunch of useful statuses. So hopefully with just those power statuses behind it, and the fact that its kills will spread status, should give me what I'm looking for. My stance changed. Anyway, that's good. That one, what have I not used yet? That's 8. We do this? Yeah, we did that. 9, that's good. Fairly certain I did that one. There we go, 10. Okay. So now I'm just going to focus on heat casting. No matter what's going on, I'm just a heat caster now. What I want to do is get that cooldown into an attack, into cooldown, into an attack, into cooldown, cooldown again. I think I missed that one. That's unfortunate. Where's the probe? The probe is nowhere useful. So we cast a new one because it was instantly off cooldown because I'd hit enough built-in reductions. Missed that one. Verticality screwing me a little bit there. Where's the probe? Okay, not knowing where the probe is a little bit painful. Let's cast this here. Okay, missed the hit with the one. The one has come back. There we go. Hit a few hard resets there, so when probe runs out, it should be immediately available again. There we go. I am struggling to get value out of the probe here at the moment. I don't know what it is, but it feels like the enemies just aren't clustering here enough. So let's... I don't know where better I can cast it, I'll be honest. Come on, game. Throw me a bone here. Throw me a bone. What do you want me to do? If I could hear the activations of the 3, maybe I'd feel happy with it. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard the 3 move backwards. I missed with the 1, so it went on to cooldown for a bit. Let's get rid of these. I think Verglass just popped off for a moment there. Bit wasteful casting that already, but whatever. It's already off cooldown. And now I don't have nearby enemies again. God damn it. Where are they all hiding? There's a bunch of them here. Let's try here. Missed the hit. There's nothing I can do for a moment. Again, I'm trying to focus on full caster, not kill things with gun, because if I was killing things with gun, yeah. Oh, how was that a miss? I was looking at the group. Okay, how about this room? Seems to be a bunch of them over here. Bring off the cooldown. This is a drop spot as well, so maybe this will be better for us. The enemy's just kind of dropping in to say hello. Hit that. I've reached the point where I could just kind of hold this spot, actually. This is a tight area for it.
If they detect you, fighters will soon attack.
I'm trusting my companion to be doing the work when it comes to priming. And I'm just hitting the cooldowns. Oh, or missing that one.
Look out for troopers.
There is a Jade somewhere in this cluster. There was a Jade somewhere in this cluster. Yeah, survival meter is keeping up at the moment, you're very right. And the thing is, I don't need to prime heat for anything other than when I'm casting my 4. So I might be putting in a little bit too much APM here. Because, like, yeah, the extra heat proc can be nice, but that's also coming from Verglass. So I don't need to focus that. I say as I focus it, like, times over. Okay, so this is the test of it. Can I deal with these before they deal with me?
Tenno, the void has summoned a new presence and it craves our life support. Destroy these manifestations.
I mean, that one popped. Okay. Okay, I mean, that worked. I should probably stop standing under that. Need to move around so I don't get AFK timeout. That would suck. Because I am just hard casting here, but like... This is why D worries about AFK strategies. Because, like, you could just have something spamming the keybinds here. If you looked in spend plat profit, what arcane should you spend phosphor on? Why did I look over that question? God damn it. What killed me? I wasn't looking. I was reading a question. God damn it. That better not be a question of how do I make money, Ken? Please give me money. I'm sure I'm being facetious there. Misery gave me a hug? Great. The moment I look away. Alright, whatever. I've demonstrated the effectiveness here. Let's get out. And then I can read the question and see if I want to be salty. Where's my way out? Oh, gotta go through all this terrain. Yes, yes, the moon is very broken. Please let me leave. Ah, almost aim glided it. Okay, right then. So, sorry, coming back to this. If I'm looking for plat profit, what arcane should I spend my Phosphor on? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought the question was. Bro, if you want to make money in any kind of game when it comes to trading, look at the market, see what's being sold, and find the profit. It's kind of your job, really. I can tell you where the game mechanics are, absolutely, I can walk you through so much on that, but if you're looking to just straight up make money from the player-to-player economy, that's really your job. Look up Warframe.market and see what's the most valuable. And then best of luck with that. If I said any one thing here, I can guarantee you it then just go down, because people do that without thinking about it. From Blade of the Poet, hey, are you the one that made the D&D Tome of Warframes? That I am. Been using it for boss fights in my campaign, only one of them plays, and she damn near panicked when I pulled out a Sevogoth. Nice, nice. So most of your players have no idea that they're dealing with Warframes, or at the very least they have no idea what the Warframes are like, but then you bring out the name of it for the one player who does know. Oh. Ooh. So which ones have you been using so far? Are Moonrock slickable? Actually, no. Very bad idea. And Miralabe, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Blade of the Poet. Much appreciated there, Miralabe. But yeah, moon rocks, very, very much not lickable. Do not lick the moon rocks. I could give you multiple reasons not to lick the moon rocks. Reason number one, moon rocks have not undergone a geographical level weathering. So it's all the rain, all the rivers, all the wind blowing, it's just rock fragments in space. So those rocks are very sharp. They have very fine, sharp components to them, which is devastating to spacesuits, let alone your body. Do not lick the moon rocks for that reason. Second reason, you will be shot. I want to make this very clear, you'll be shot, because those moon rocks, there's not many of them. They are held quite securely, so if you break in to the secure locations the moon rocks are being held at to lick them, you're probably being shot. Third reason not to lick the moon rocks is because you will also develop a degenerative disease that killed Cave Johnson. Cave Johnson, who was so insane that he put together fucking GLaDOS. So you will likely also, along the way of trying to rescue yourself from your inevitable demise from having consumed moon dust, lead to some kind of tragedy befalling everyone around you, including those you love. So, moon rocks sharp, moon rocks guarded, moon rocks make you crazy like Cave Johnson. Bad, bad, bad. Do not lick the moon rock. Do not lick them. May life take the lemons back? Yes. Moon rocks made of asbestos? Worse. Also heavily irradiated? Are they full of dangerous radiation? Didn't think so on that. Like, yeah, sure, the sun is beaming down on them, but the sun isn't beaming down constant high-tier ionizing radiation that'll stick around in moon rock. I don't recall them being made of melted fusion reactors. No. No, radiation is not your concern with moon rocks. Unless you're on the surface of the moon licking the moon rocks, in which case, you know what? Sure, radiation is probably going to be high on the list of issues if you're on the day side. However, the lack of air is probably going to be number one. So, again, no licking moon rocks. Very bad juju. Are there any other extraterrestrial rocks you could lick? I mean, you'll find plenty of people who would claim to have a meteorite and can sell you it. Again, not recommended. A lot of meteorites are going to be your iron-nickel standard composition for a lot of metallic asteroids, so I guess relatively okay there. But you'd be more likely to encounter issues of where has that rock been and what has that person done to preserve it? What are you about to consume if you lick that rock? So really, just maybe don't lick random rocks from space, whether they be from moon, asteroids, or other locations. If somehow you come across a rock that's from Mars, also don't lick it. It's probably fake. Yeah. Just don't. It's a rock, why would you lick it? I asked this question of the seasoned geologist as well, but it's a thing. Okay? Most geologists, if not all of them, are drunk to the point of possibly being alcoholics. I don't say this as a way to slander an entire profession. I say this from experience, from my degree in geology. Okay? I say this with the experience of having field trips planned from pub to pub near enough. I say this from the experience of going to one of our final sites on a trip through Spain. We didn't even know we had a final site to go to. Why the guy decided to take us to yet another location when most of the class are clearly hungover. And it turns out that one of the other professors was also still so full of fun that in one of his quotes, one of the moments, the guy tried to say, yep, you're going to go have a look at this. And when you go to have a look at it, when you do that, and was immediately interrupted by the professor going, you said do. That's what I mean on the level of, yeah, let's face it, they're just going to keep drinking. genuinely tenured professor to another, interrupting him to laugh at him for saying doo-doo. And after that, they still expected us to pay attention to the outcrop. Yeah. That was the same professor, by the way, who ended up at it was third year at third year's Tuesday drinks, whereupon we had a absolutely abominable schedule. We had a 10 a.m. lecture for 1 hour, a big old gap, and then I think it was a 4 p.m. lecture. Yeah, 4 p.m. lecture. And it's like, okay, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., you could go home, do some other stuff, and come back then. But it's like, do you really want to travel into university, have your lecture for an hour, leave the university, do something else, come back to the university, have your lecture, and then get on with your afternoon? It's just... So instead, we would, myself and a few friends, we would head on over to the on-campus bar. And so, from 11 a.m. until nearly 4 p.m, we'd be there, we'd go through our notes, or just more often have a good old chinwag and whatnot. And a couple of weeks later, a few other people asking where we're heading off to. Down to the bar, it's Tuesday drinks. We gather more people. Other societies that run on a Tuesday, including some of the societies we were part of, were aware of this increasing gathering of people having Tuesday drinks. A surprising number of geologists in one spot, it gathers attention. And more people joining in with Tuesday drinks. There are a couple of societies that changed the day they were meeting up because too many people were staying in the bar for Tuesday drinks after we had left to go to our lecture. Tuesday drinks became just this amalgamation of people. It would not shift to go on with the other things people had planned. And on the final Tuesday of that term of Tuesday drinks, of that final stupid schedule, there was quite a number of geologists in that group at this point. Basically, the entire class had ended up just all at Tuesday drinks, because where else are we going to be? It looks to be about time, but I don't need to make anyone aware that it's about time. Out of the crowd of students there in the student bar for Tuesday drinks, stands up the professor himself, knocking back his pint, going, "Right, geologists, with me!" And off we go to the final lecture. It is not slander to say that the majority of geologists will drink far more than their share. I have seen it in action. Don't lick the rocks, even if you're drunk enough to think it's a good idea. Time at uni sounds awesome. There were some great moments, and then there were some horrible moments. It was a grand old mix of them. Learned a lot, did a lot, and, well, went through the absolute lows of depression as well. It's all a thing. But I will not go back to geology for the hell of it. Yeah. Geologist with me might be the most badass nerd thing to say. Well, there you go then, yeah? There you go. You thought it was going that way? Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, we didn't see it was going that way when we first had Tuesday drinks, but it certainly ended up that way. I don't know what's better, the professor joining in like that, or the fact that we did actually damage the scheduling of multiple societies. But yeah. Anyway, enough of that. You thought I said that Geordie drinks more than their fair share? I mean, is that wrong, Coffern? Also dated that, so, you know. Okay, so Smokefinger's an accurate geologist? Honestly, yeah, seems pretty on point. Seems pretty on point. No notes. DE's characterization, as ever, remains well. But yes, we had a note from Flo, which is absolutely correct. I think it's about time we try out the new shiny avatar. So let's kill the out-of-game music there. We got something else that's going to be popping up. Let me just make sure this is all set the right way. We need to do that. Oh, yes, indeed, because it's about time we do our 75 plat giveaway. There we go. Oh, yes, indeed. Let's open up the drawer. I'm going to move my camera out of the way. And what is the code this time? I should probably have double-checked what it is, because it's not the old one. What did I change it to? It is enter. Oh, I am so original. Exclamation mark enter. Exclamation mark enter to enter into the 75 plat giveaway today. Exclamation mark enter for a chance to win 75 plat. And we should see an absolute medley of fashions now. Oh, would you look at those sliding in. We do see Flowing Thoughts with the wings there. We do see the red cape up the front there. I think that is Death's Colour. So we do see those ones added in, absolutely. We got Snake Raider with their new fashion as well. I see Logrin is running... Is that Logrin's? Logrin, is that the correct one? I'm not sure that's come through correctly. Logrin, hold on a moment. Let me check what yours is set to on my side. Because if that's not gone through correctly, I need to find out why for you. Did you change your username at all? Did you? Let me see here. LOHEGRIN_. Whilst we wait for more people to join, exclamation mark enter on that. I'm just going to have a look as to what's gone on here for Logrin. Can't say I still have Lavos. That's not good either. Okay. Let's see. So calm should be set to calm. Logrin should be set to Logrin. The default codes are in place. The defaults are there. Okay, let's have a look at the responses. That's been working fine. No, that's not what I need. Sprite choices. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look here. Mirrorlabe set to Mirrorlabe. That was a recent one. Logrin set to Mesa. That's not good. Okay. It was working, which means I've messed up something somewhere. I will need to see... I know what I did. I'll have that fixed for Wednesday. I am very sorry. I know what I did now. There is a file missing that would operate the new default command properly. And of course, the catch on the bot that handles your message wouldn't realize the file is missing because of the way it's processed. Shoot. That's dumb. How did I make that mistake? Okay. It's fine. I will have that fixed for Wednesday. Very sorry about that. Damn it. As we said earlier, the keyword was should. Yeah. I mean, it was working for Flow. Flows went through fine. Death's Colour went through fine. But, yeah. I see Snake Raider has not got the one they wanted there. Neither has Queen. That's not gone through correctly. Yes, Metro, I know some people have the old avatar. That's what we've just been saying. I can see the ones that have not worked the way they should. And yeah, Flow didn't use the default command. Flow specifically set to Flow, which is fine. Okay, I see what's gone wrong there. Ah, damn it. Okay. As compensation, don't scare with the rap tap tap today. In my defense, I didn't do that. I did this. Yeah. No, Elliot, I'm not switching anyone's individually, because if someone didn't want to switch theirs, if they just wanted it to be available, then I would have done it wrong if I forced the switch. So I leave it up to the person to assign themselves, but right now it's not working correctly. At least if it's not working correctly for the defaults. For named, it's working. And yeah, byte should be working as well because byte's set name unless byte you changed afterwards, but it's fine. I'll fix that. Alright then, enough of me realizing that once again I've managed to screw the program up slightly. Easy to fix. It's why we have patch notes. I think it's about time we do the draw on this 75 plat here. And yes, once the command is fixed, anyone who's tried using the default command will need to do it again, because at the moment the program simply doesn't know that it's there. And yeah, LU, it's exclamation mark enter to enter in. Oh, you know, you were just messing around. Okay. Sure. Alright then, let's do the draw. We got 66 people, 75 plat. I like those odds. Who is it going to be? Who's going to win that one? Is it going to be Karateka? No. Logrin, taken out. Death Sculler, we saw that red cape. You can clearly see that one's not gone the way you want it to. There goes the Wings of Flow as well. Ellie has been removed from the running. Andrew, with their Trinity, has been obliterated. Triple, not a chance. Shinu, going down the drain on that one. LU has been removed from the running. Who's our winner then? It's actually Zelon. Zelon of the 564 Variety. Congratulations.
Excellent work, Tenno.
You are our winner today on that 75 Platinum giveaway. That'll be handed out by DE, so you'll receive that in their next batch within the next few days or so. Actually, I forget exactly when it is. I will have to double check. Let's see, when is it? Where's the listing? Note to self, write this down next time. November 12th. That should be with you on November 12th. Alright then, but that is where we're going to wrap it up there. Let's get my face back up on the screen again. I'm not blocking anything now. I considered going into the code for the spawning of where people appear to make it where no one appeared next to or behind my camera. Then I remembered that I sometimes move the camera into random places, and I'm just not going to deal with that. That's just not worth the hassle. It's easier to just remove the camera temporarily, isn't it? So, say la vie on that. Anyway, that is where we're going to have to wrap it up. Again, my apologies for those of you who did want to see your avatars on that first running there. For those that it just doesn't work at the moment, I know where the fix is. So we'll just get that implemented. But for now, we're going to be raiding on over to another part of the Warframe community. Let's see who we can say hello to today. Who can we share the love with? They'll be there eventually. Don't say eventually. Come on, this is no primed soon. I made a mistake on implementation, that's all. I made one mistake on implementation. It's a stupid mistake. I shouldn't have made it. But I know what it is to fix. So, we got that. Yes, Petra, you will have a new Inaros to play with. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It'll be fine. Made the camera move like a Windows 95 screensaver. That's even more figuring out to sort that. Anyway, let's see here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who do we go to? I don't know. Looks like there's a couple of people on a collab over there. There is a Gaz running. There is a Chair. There is a Zynode. I don't even know who Zynode is, I'll be quite honest. I don't recognise that one at all, actually. Let's have a quick looky-loo here. Bear with me one moment, chat. Seems reasonable enough. Let's see if... Yeah, looks like we should be able to give it a raid slap. Alright, don't know who this is. Seems like it'll be an interesting stream. Let's find out who they're about. Let's raid on over to Zynode. Alright then, that is all from me today though. Thank you everyone for joining in on this here, and I will see you on Wednesday with the fixed giveaway arena. My apologies again on that. See you in the next one. Bye!